Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, we have a lot of things we're going to be talking about this evening. We are going to talk about Road to National Week 2 RTN winners from Week 2. We are going to talk about Battle Hardened Atlanta. We're going to talk about Battle Hardened Gdanska, I think is how you say that. I'm probably saying it wrong, I'm sure. We're going to talk about calling... hang on. I looked at this earlier so that I could remember how to pronounce this. Akihabara. I really hope I said that right. Calling Akihabara. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Then after we talk about all that stuff, I'm going to story time with you guys, tell you guys about my Battle Hardened weekend and how everything went. If you guys watch my recap videos, my shorts that I posted, you'll know that I finished 16th at Battle Hardened Atlanta, and I finished 11th at the ProQuest Plus on Sunday. So overall, not the best weekend, but not a bad weekend. Some things to improve on and to work with. And we're going to try and move forward and get some things going. And then we're also going to talk about next steps and what I want to practice for Columbus this coming week and what we're going to be working on. Let's go. Steve with the 4 months of Prime support. Yo, Steve, thank you so much for the 4 months over on Twitch. I appreciate it, brother. It means a lot. It means a lot. Moors, Mekado, Dave, Kasu, Steve, Valk. Oh, let's go over here. Kayla, Martin, Drew, Logic, Ben, Will. God, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. Jeff, Rose, Michael, and Randy. I think I hit everybody. If I missed you, I am so sorry. I apologize if I missed you. But I meant to like to say hi to everybody. Yo, Michael Murray hanging out in the chat? Dude, I was actually watching AGE last night and had a chance to see Michael doing coverage. So that was really cool. I have to say, Michael's one of my favorite people that does coverage. I really enjoy watching Michael do coverage. Ian, Sean, Sarant, what's up, guys? How is everybody? So I'm going to give you guys the pick here of what we do first. Do you guys want to talk about the Battle Hardened first? Do you guys want me to do story time about my Battle Hardened? Or do you guys want to recap all of the data first? There is no wrong answer. I just, you guys can throw up whatever you guys want. It can be as simple as just putting like a BH or like putting like story time or putting data in there. It's whether you guys want to talk about my weekend or whether you guys want to talk about the data first. I'm good with whatever. There is no wrong answer. I just want to know what you guys want to do. There were some sick mirror matches. Yo, the Kasai one was actually a phenomenal game to watch. I really enjoyed watching Chris and Colin duke it out last night. Yo, Billy, what's up, buddy? Matt, what up, dude? Florian going doesn't even change the meta anyway, doesn't it? I don't know. Florian had a pretty big part. I don't know. Florian had a pretty big part this week. The hot dog shirt goes pretty hard. Yo, I love the hot dog shirt, dude. I love the hot dog shirt, dude. It's so cool. It's so cool. Okay, so I saw a couple people say data, but it looks like most people said story time. Okay, so we'll talk about my weekend first, and then we will jump in and we will break down the data and talk about what I think that means for calling Columbus and week 3 of Road to Nationals. Okay, so my weekend started on Friday afternoon. I was able to sneak out of work a little bit early and head down to Atlanta. And the drive's about 4.5 hours from where I'm at, so it's not too bad. Close enough to drive, and it rained the entire way, which sucked. I hate driving in the rain, but it is what it is. Made pretty good time, all things considered. So, recap your favorite hot dog you've ever eaten. I will tell you guys, I had possibly one of the most disappointing hot dogs at the convention center this weekend. I'm going to tell you guys about it. I had it on Saturday. I'm going to tell you guys all about it here in just a minute. So get in Friday night, have dinner with Trent and Drew and Ashley. We went to one of those like little sushi places where it like rolls around on a conveyor belt and you grab it and you eat it and you like pay per plate. Never done that before. That was pretty cool. I did really enjoy doing that. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, we got to have good dinner at a sushi place. Also got to watch Indiana absolutely obliterate Oregon Friday night. Didn't go to the game, even though it was in Atlanta. If I'd planned better, I probably would have tried to buy tickets and go to that. But yeah, no, and got to watch day 1 of calling Akibara. I really hope I'm saying that right. which was cool. So no, it was good. It was a pretty good Friday, all things considered. That I didn't get to play, which was kind of weird. Because I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I like to play on Friday nights if I can. So let's talk about the Battle Harden. We're going to go over everything that I have wrote down in my codex journal from this past weekend. If you do not know what this product is that I am telling you about, and you have been looking for a way to keep track of your games and your data, you should check out the codex journal. Exclamation point codex in the chat. You have a way to keep track of all of your life over here on this side with multiple columns. Sorry, my hands are backwards in the screen. And then over here, you have all of your matchups, who you played against, what round it was, how prepared you felt for the matchup, things like that. So make sure you check that out and use code AgriBlaze96 to save yourself 10% at checkout. Now that I've shamelessly plugged our sponsors, let's dive into it, shall we? Round 1 of the Battle Harden. I played against a South Carolina local that I actually just played at an RT in the past weekend. My boy Josh, repping Marlin round 1. We played a game. Oh, that's a loud noise. That's a loud noise. Yo, let's go. Oh, that's right. We did this. Balrog? Balrog is bad. I think we went over your name when you followed the other day. Yo, well, Balrog, thank you so much for the Prime sub over on Twitch. I appreciate it. It means a whole lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a bunch. All right, so I went second in this matchup. I do not think that was by choice. I think, if I remember correctly, Josh won the die roll and I went second. I was at 10 when the game ended. I did win the first round of the Battle Harden against Marlin. So my notes right here say that my opponent low rolled early and I was up 20 points when they really got anything going. So what happened during this game is Josh had one of the most abysmal starts I've ever seen in my life. There was like multiple turns where he had no way to generate gold. I drew a staunch response early. I was able to block out and deny like gold generation off of the hook. And there was just no real way to get things going for Josh early. And so like by the time he threw an overpowered arrow at me that actually hit and did something, he was at 18. Like I was already in the firm position, like commanding position. And one of the attacks he threw at me one turn early was like King Kraken Harpoon. And like it like just did nothing because I didn't have any non-attack actions in my hand. So I continue to believe that Marlin is a matchup that we are not favored into as Victor. Having access to things like Test of Iron Grip, Staunch Response, Sink Below, Test of Strength, like all these things are great at dealing with overpower, but there are a lot of turns where Marlin can really disrupt you. And so Josh having a really, really awkward start gave me a pretty good start to the tournament, and I was 1-0 after beating Marlin round 1. Round 2, I played against a gentleman I have never met before, actually. His name was Caleb, and he was super nice, and he was playing Tough Nut. Yo, your codex just got there? Yo, let's go, Raccoon. That's awesome. Use a journal where you can rate the decks in a tier list format. Colin has been trolling all his opponents with that. Oh, where you like talk about like, so there's a section up here that Michael's referring to where it says like, are they like opponent's deck? And it's like, is it S tier, A tier, B tier? Sorry, I don't know why that's off to the side. And so that's exactly what he's talking about. And I love that so much. I love that so much. That's awesome. So round 2, I played against a Tough Nut. I did get to go first, and I was at 15 when the game ended. So the plan against Tough Nut is to just run out gold main estates, play Remembrance, run them back, and then just win the game by running them over with a ton of mites and just closing the game out that way. My opponent was on 3 copies of Arg Smash in this matchup, which terrified the living crap out of me. My opponent was playing a deck that was built to like roll scabs pretty regularly. And so there were multiple turns where they would roll scabs, and their very first roll on scabs, they rolled a 1, which was a pretty good tempo swing for me. It allowed me to like play an estate, run at a choke slam or a spinal crush or something like that. I can't remember. And then the first time they played an Arg Smash, they rolled a 1. So they got 0 of my gold tokens off the board. The second Arc Smash, they rolled like I think they rolled a 4 or something like that and got 2 of my gold tokens, and then they never got to play their third one. So really being able to like just dodge that first roll was massive, and that gave me a big boost in the matchup. Other than that, it was just block, stay alive, do whatever you can, run out the gold main estates, play staunches in that matchup, just do anything you can to keep your life total up, and then use Remembrance, visit the gold main estate to try and close the game out. I'm here for the Prism story time. Yo, Kevin, I'm sorry. But before we talk about round 3 here, I do want to take a minute to like talk about what Kevin said. During the New Year's Eve stream, you guys, if you were here, you're aware of this. I got drunk and I promised that if we won the game we were playing, that I would play Prism at Battle Hard in Atlanta. Well, after 3 days of deep dive in games and reading Kevin's primer, I learned that you cannot learn the Aura Prism plan fast enough to beat the tough matchups in a week and a half. At least I can't anyway. So the consolation prize that I have decided to do is that not this weekend in Columbus. I'm going to play Victor in Columbus this weekend. But the weekend after, I have a Road to Nationals event that I'm going to a couple hours away from my house, and I'm going to play Prism at that. So I'm going to play Prism there. I am going to play Prism. We're going to have a whole story time about it. I'm going to talk about it, I promise. But it will not be at a Battle Hard Nerd Calling. So just so you guys are aware. If only he took Prism Rose, get out of here. Okay, round 3, I actually ended up running into my new teammate, Randy, who ended up top 8ing the event. Congrats to Randy on making top 8 at Battle Hard in Atlanta. That was super exciting. Randy was playing Pleiades, which if you guys, have seen, if you're in any of the Guardian Discords, or you've seen it running around, you know that the Fatigue Pleiades deck has become quite popular lately. This is a deck that I don't know will be crazy popular at Battle Hard in Columbus, or I'm sorry, Calling Columbus, but I am coming prepared to play against the Pleiades deck. Probably a little bit of being warped from losing to it, because I did lose to Randy in round 3. I ended up getting my first loss and moving to 2-1 in round 3. After the game, Randy and I were talking and we were going over the matchup, and the game ended when Randy ran me out of cards. The only card that I had in my deck was Riches of Tropoldani, and I was playing 1 Remembrance at the Battle Harden. And so, win some clashes first cycle, stack up some gold, play Visit the Gold Main Estate, run out second cycle, Remembrance them back, play them again, run out your Golden Sun and Machos with them, and try to close the game out, was the game plan. Well, that was not enough. I was able to get Randy down pretty low. I think Randy was at 8 when the game ended, but I was not able to close the game out enough to be able to win from there. And there are a couple of key mistakes that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But Randy and I played a really good game. He is a very good Fatigue player, and so I just was not able to do it with 1 Remembrance. My notes in this matchup say don't attack on the gold main turn. Deny boots value. So what that means is the Fatigue Pleiades deck plays the boots where you block from the Armory deck, and then you pay 3 life, or you pay a resource for the amount of toughness tokens you want to make. And so what I was doing is on the turns, I would go Gold Main Estate, make 9 Might tokens or something like that. And then I would go attack with Hammer. Well, Randy would just go block a card in this, make a ton of Might, make 3 toughness tokens to help me block. And then on his turn, he would end up leaking 4 or 5 damage, as opposed to 8 to 10 damage on his turn. And so I learned that when you're doing this, you need to play Gold Main. The turn you're going to play Gold Main Estate out, it is all about play it and pass. Don't give them any value to set up. Take as much away from them as you possibly can. And the other big takeaway that we learned from that matchup is that as Victor, they're not able to pressure you enough to really put you into a weird situation life total wise. So if you run the second copy of Remembrance and you play Gold Main Estates 7, 8, 9, the matchup is, I'm not going to call it free, but it becomes very favored for you. So that is my 2 big takeaways from playing against the Fatigue Pleiades deck that I think is going to, it's there were 3 of them in the room. at Battle Hard in Atlanta, which surprised me because I did not think there would be that many of them. But there were 3 of them at Battle Hard in Atlanta, and I'm expecting there to be probably like close to like a handful of people playing the deck in Columbus. So we'll see what happens. Damien said he knows our tech, LOL. What tier did you put that Pleiades deck in your codex journal? Just so Randy doesn't think I'm lying, I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see it. I put Randy up there at the A tier. Sorry, it's a little too close. A tier at my opponent's deck because I think the Pleiades deck is actually really good. And so I put it at A tier because I think that deck's really solid right now in the meta. So yeah, I'm 2-1. My only loss is to Fatigue Pleiades. Round 4. We run into our boy from Florida. We run into our boy Calum, the Prism player. Calum and I think this is the first time Calum and I have ever played. I was lucky enough to win the die roll and go first. The note that I wrote down here is that Midas Touch broke the loop for Rebirth. So I did win the game. On turn 0, I drew my singular copy of Midas Touch. I'm such a luck sack. And then I arsenaled it. And it sat there until Rebirth got into play. Calum was able to set up Erudition, the Erudition Angel, the draw 2 one, the one that everybody hates, and pair that with an Arclight Sentinel on like the 4th turn of the game. And so Calum was able to start generating a lot of value, really get the train rolling early. And so I was kind of like backpedaling a little bit, trying to do what I could. I finally managed to get a turn where I am able to get the Erudition off the board. I've reset. Like, we're kind of like playing it through. There's a Genesis in play that I'm trying to get cleared and stuff like that, but we're just kind of fighting through it. And so like we're working through all this, and like I'm trying to stay alive, and I'm at a healthy life total. I think I stabilized around 28 or something like that. And then Rebirth gets into play and flips. Well, when Rebirth gets into play, my turn is immediately take a little bit of damage so that I can pitch a blue to Midas Touch the Rebirth, kill Arclight Sentinel, and then start clearing the board. There was also a turn during the game where I was sorry, my brain just like stopped working. I'm having a stroke, as I like to say. I cannot remember what I was going to say right now. Oh, Clash of Bravado is what I was going to talk about. Clash of Bravado against Prism. This is the first time I've got to play the Prism matchup, like, and this card be insane. I was able to get a Passing Mirage, and I think I also got a Genesis with this card. Like, it was crazy good. It was absolutely insane. Getting a Passing Mirage off the board and then being able to kill another aura, and like, just, it was so powerful. It was like the 2-for-1 turn on defense. I don't know. Like, it was just super powerful. It felt super clean. There was also a turn late in the game where I had been watching Calum's pitch stack, and Calum's stack, he had 1 copy of Merciful Retribution left in the deck. Libraries in play. Like, I'm just trying to stay alive. I'm trying to do what I can to stay up. And I had Boulder Drop, Staunch Response, blue. Well, I was at 4, and there was 5 Spectral Shields in play. So I, on my turn, was forced to, like, get rid of something. Like, I instead of attacking to try and clear the Spectral Shields and losing, and potentially losing to the Merciful Retribution, I was then in a situation where I just kind of, like, had to pass, and I arsenaled my Staunch Response, and I just went to the next turn and had to wait for more blues. I wanted to talk about this turn because I think it's very naturally intuitive for a lot of people to just attack upstairs and then try to clear the Spectral Shields. And then without an extra blue in hand, the damage from the actual Spectral Shields would have killed me off of Merciful Retribution. And so, like, that's just one of those things where you kind of have to be careful, and you have to, like, check those things for outs at the end of the game. And because I waited and I was able to play patiently, I was in a position where I was able to stabilize it for life and actually win the game after that. I think it took me about 5 more turns, but I was able to win the game. So I was 3-1 at this point. I expect like 8 to 10 Pleiades at Columbus. I could see that. I could 100% see that. Played against Fatigue Pleiades once as Victor. Won with Standard Remembrance plus Estate Plan. Sent Rouse for 26 and the Golden Sun for 10. I mean, I'm not playing Rouse in my deck, Matt, but yeah, that does seem really good. That's a really good way to close out the game. Okay, round 5. I'm 3-1 at this point. We're still alive for top 8, but we got to keep grinding. Played against another South Carolina local, my boy Raymond playing Fang. It is funny like the progression of walking through this game, and I lost this game, by the way. I moved to 3-2 after this, and going back to it, I can go back to the exact turn that I lost. And I just want to say big shout out to our boy Drew for help. He was watching this game. He walked me through what happened, the mistake that I made, and I was able to catch it because of that. Hey, Annabelle, what's up? Annabelle, you're on the wrong account if you care, but what's up? So he was at 4 when the game ended, and I died with his last 4 cards in his deck. Now, I'm going to read to you all what I wrote down, and then I'm going to tell you what happened and how I could have won the game. So I wrote down after the game is over, not sure I could have won this game, walked it back with my opponent, and don't think I could have won. After talking with Drew, there was a turn during second cycle where I knew there was the Hunt's End. I knew there was a Hunt's End in Raymond's hand. Knowing there is a Hunt's End in hand, and you have to keep in mind there is exactly 3 fealty on the board, and I am marked. My marked token was sitting with my gold, and I kind of forgot it existed. This is in no way Raymond's fault. I don't think anybody was angle shooting. I just had a lapse. Raymond attacks me. Couple cards in hand. I think he blocked. I can't remember. There is a Hunt's End that I'm aware of in their hand. And there's also another 0 for like a 0 for 2 that like would have taken it up to 4. I block with Clash of Bravado. When the clash, destroy a fealty, take Raymond down to 2 fealty. Well, he plays the +2, it goes up to 4, I take 1. 3 fealties online, he attacks with his other weapon, I put 1 card in front, he plays Hunt's End, I fall down to 2. If I had given Raymond Clash of Bravado and Tectonic Plating, I would have forced Raymond to play the +2, take it to 4, and then from there, it would have been in a situation where he would have had to have pitched Hunt's End to attack with the other weapon. I give a card, and then I'm in the exact same situation that I'm in from there. Now, the beauty of this situation is that that was his last firm loyalty, which means I do not believe there was another way for him to generate fealty tokens unless I make a stupid mistake. So all I had to do was make the correct block and then continue to play the game out. And even if Raymond does come back around to the Hunt's End and does have a 3rd fealty token, I just have to keep track of the Hunt's End, but I get to keep my life total up and I'm able to pressure Raymond more. So I made a critical mistake that cost me the game that in the moment I could not see, but Drew, watching the game, caught that mistake and was able to talk to me about it afterwards. So I wanted to tell you this because it's so important to analyze the plays that you make. Like when we talk about like how to improve, this is why I like to talk about VOD review, watching your games back, dedicated testing, making sure that you are looking for something specific when you're testing. That mistake cost me a game at a Battle Hardened. That game could have been the difference between me making top 8 and making top 16. And small things like that, one wrong equipment block, cost me so much value over the course of the rest of the game, which is crazy to think about. It is wildly crazy to think about. Now, Raymond did go on to play Gravy Bones after this, so our top 8 tournament probably ended after that anyway, but regardless, it's still important to keep track of those mistakes. Hey, what's up, Lucas? Marcus, what's up, buddy? I'm on the right account now. Hey, you can be on your other account if you want to. You can be on your other account if you want to. It doesn't bother me at all. Okay, round 6. So at this point, I am 3-2. Like there is no chance of us top 8ing. We are strictly playing to try to get more tickets for top 16. I think top 32 was like 250 tickets and top 16 was 500 or something. So I was trying to trying to get some more tickets. Round 6, I played against a gentleman I'd never met before. He was actually buddies with one of my friends whose name is Zach. His name was Michael. Michael was super nice. He was playing Florian. We did have a weird judge call at the beginning of the game. So Michael meant to grab other cards and put them into his deck. And when he went to grab them, he put them in the pile that he was taking out of his deck because he had played against a huntsman beforehand and was trying to play anti-fatigue. And so Michael presented an illegal deck of 57 cards. And so technically we were at a position where I had drawn my opening hand. Michael had not drawn a hand. So nothing had happened. The judge said that if we had both drawn our hands, that it basically turns into a game loss, I think is what they said. Don't quote me on that. But that if we had both drawn our hands and started the game, that it would have been a game loss. But because I had drawn my hand, my opponent had not, and my opponent had seen my equipment, they decided to issue my opponent a warning, which I'm very glad they did because I wanted to play the game for practice. And from there, after they issued the warning, my opponent was allowed to put exactly 3 cards into their deck to get up to 60 because they had gained knowledge from my equipment reveal. So they were allowed to put exactly 3 cards up to 60, and then we played our game out. My singular note here, and it just I was at 18 when the game ended. Things just went my way. Clashes went well. Clash of Bravados lined up. Everything just went my way. Remembrance and Estate is what I wrote down. I know that that's a pretty lame note to write down, but I Remembrance, I Estated. I threw 2 Golden Suns for over 20. I threw one for 21 and I threw one for 22. I think it was kind of insane. Yeah, I don't know. It is crazy. So Matt, I'm glad that you said that because it is crazy that my opponent immediately recognized the mistake. And then honestly, on top of that, my opponent very publicly spoke up and said that. And I'm like, most people wouldn't have done that. Most people would have just rolled the dice with 57 cards and seen what happened. I mean, to be fair, on 57 cards, I probably would have just fatigued them. But I don't know, just I tip my hat to Michael for being so honest. We need more people like that in our game. We need more people like that in our game. And I'm very glad that Michael did that. Round 7. We played against a Kasai round 7. And this is officially for top 16 at this point. And as you guessed, I finished 16th at the Battle Hardened, so I did win this game. We won our last game. I played against a gentleman named Chris. He was also super nice. We were playing very fast and going through a lot of things, but he was super cool. He communicated every interaction that he did to a point of just being so clear that I strive to make my interactions and how I talk about life totals and everything that I do as clear as Chris did. So that was, I really appreciated Chris being such a clear communicator. Chris was playing Kasai. I wrote that I'm unfavored in this matchup because I believe that to be true. I won the dice roll and went first, I believe. I wrote down Remembrance and Estate, and then I put chained estates together after Remembrance. We're going to talk about what I did to poor Chris, because honestly, I kind of feel bad. The game was not really going my way. As you know, this is an unfavored matchup. I was kind of fighting for my life, kind of just trying to stay alive, keeping the board clear, doing what I could. And then I played my last gold main estate, which I had to pitch earlier in the game. I play my last gold main estate, make 9 might tokens or something like that. Play a state, and then I don't draw it or anything like that. It wasn't that crazy. And then the following 3 turns were a state, something aggressive. A state, something aggressive. A state, something aggressive. On the final turn of the game, I threw performance bonus for 14 go again at Chris's face. Because 3 literal turns in a row, I just went a state and to do something else, a state and to do something else. And I was just applying this insane amount of pressure. And the crazy part is Chris and I were talking after the game. He had 3 guys on board and I was at 7 life. It was probably my last set of turns to really make anything happen. And the only reason Chris was blocking so much was because if he didn't, he was dead. It was absolutely crazy. So yeah, I ended up closing the game out with like a Macho or something. I think Macho was exact lethal. But like performance bonus for 14, I don't know. Like it was just kind of crazy. Like it was just my draws were absolutely insane. It just really lined up after playing the Remembrance. Like I don't think I could have like put the cards in an order that I liked better than the way they lined up. It was just one of those things. Justin, I agree. They should ban Remembrance. I know it would hurt Victor quite a bit right now, but I think they should ban Remembrance just because I think it's an unhealthy card, and I don't really like the card being in the game. So I kind of wish they would ban it just for the sake of like it being out of the game. Macho Blue closed out a game for me too against the Kasai this weekend. Macho's a great way to close out the game. I'm a big fan of it. Don't ban Remembrance. I think they should ban Remembrance. Matt said print Remembrance, but as a blue 3-block. I'm sorry. And by I'm sorry, I mean get out. No, I'm just kidding. That's crazy, though. I qualified for Nats playing Acilio, and half my opponents was not sure what's going on. I mean, hey, whatever works, man. You know, congrats, Fuji, on qualifying for Nats. Michael, have I watched the Akihabara finals? I have not watched the entire finals. I kind of like watched them on like 2x speed because I was trying to catch up with things, but I haven't had a chance to like sit and really watch the finals. No. Yo, Matt's onto something. Hey, Dylan, what's up, dude? Graving Have a Remembrance now makes me so sad. I have five boats thrown at me. Yeah, AJ, that's one of the things that can happen, unfortunately. Remembrance has outlived its place in the game. I actually agree, Sarant. I actually agree. I agree. Anyway, so I finished 16th at the Battle Harden. Again, you know, a couple of mistakes. Not knowing, not putting together the boots block off of playing Estate, Randy utilizing that and setting up the toughness tokens. And then on top of that, like, you know, the Fang block, like those two games cost me a lot of points. It's just one of those things, you know, things to learn from and things to move forward from. I'm not disappointed with 16th, but I would have liked to have done better. You know, 16th at, you know, like a Battle Harden is something that I would call a major event because it's larger than like it's larger than like an RTN or a ProQuest. And so like, you know, doing well at like a larger event, I believe Battle Hardens are tier 2s, correct? Are Battle Hardens tier 2s or tier 3s? Does anybody know? I honestly don't know. I love Remembrance and I have bias. I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, at least you're aware of it, right? At least you're aware of your bias. Yo, what is my hair doing in the bag? My man just said blue block 3 Remembrance. That's just dig up dinner. Lol, Trent, get him. Battle Hardens are tier 3. Okay, well, I mean, yeah. So finishing top 16 at a tier 3 event, like I'm happy with. Would have liked to have made top 8, but still. So let's talk about day 2. Let's talk about Sunday. Before we'll just talk about the whole day. So I decided that after there was 3 copies of Pleiades in the room, of Fatigue Pleiades in the room on Saturday, that I was going to jam the second Remembrance on Sunday, that I wanted to like I wanted to try second Remembrance and see if it was good enough to close the game out consistently. And I figured maybe I play the matchup once or twice. I played against 0 Pleiades, so I cut a Staunch Response for my deck to be able to play a second Remembrance, and we're going to talk about why that was a problem. So round 1, I paired into Valda.
I'm in danger.
I paired into Valda round 1, and I have cut 1 copy of Staunch Response from my deck, which is not good, as you might have guessed. My opponent, Tyler, who was super cool, we were like cutting up and laughing the whole time, was at 6 when the game ended. I wrote in my notes here that I blocked when I could. Dominate makes it tough. Second Staunch would help, which ironically I had cut from the night before. So just one of those things. And Michael, no, I'm not talking about showdowns just yet. It was a Battle Harden this weekend, not a showdown. It was actually like a Battle Harden this weekend. It was actually set up that way. So looking back at like looking back at that match, having the second staunch response, I think would have gone a long way because my plan was to do as much to stay alive as I could. And throughout like the course of the game, you're giving them too much incidental value when you draw cards. Like Test of Strength also makes them a Seismic Surge. Riches of Tropodani also makes them a Seismic Surge. Goldmane Estate makes them a Seismic Surge. So there are lots of things that you drawing cards makes them Seismic Surges for. I have decided after this matchup that I think I'm going to test cutting Riches of Tropodani in that matchup to see how it feels. I think we need to keep Test of Strength because it's a 4-block. I just think 4 blocks are too good. And then going back to a second staunch should help. Yeah, but like the plan is to like Remembrance, Goldmane Estate, and him and I were even laughing about it because we were talking about like to win the game, I had to get back to Remembrance and Goldmane Estate him 4, 5, and 6 before he could kill me, and he killed me before I could get back to it. So we were laughing about that and how that game played out. But yeah, I ended up losing round 1 of the ProQuest Plus, which means from here there were 31 players at the ProQuest Plus. I needed to sweep to be able to make top 8. Round 2, I played against Aiden, who is playing Verdance. Super nice opponent. They said that they had been playing Verdance quite a bit, but that they had never played pot combo Verdance before. And so they were new to the strategy. And they were playing, they were playing 3 healing potions. They do not have the amulet in their deck, the gain 2 life amulet, because they could not find one for their deck. I ended up winning this game. I was forced to go second in this matchup. I was at 4 life when the game ended. I wrote down that my op was on 3 pots. They missed an extra arcane spell off of Aethertide, and I wrote down that it was the opponent's first combo game. My opponent made the decision to pitch their 0-cost arcane spell, Arcane Twining or Twinning or whatever it's called, to be able to play Heartbeat of Candlehold so that it would gain them extra life. And then they did a bunch of damage, but they didn't have any arcane spell to play after the Surge and Aethertide. I would have lost the game. I only had 1 Poison the Well in my hand at that time to be able to make it work. And I would have lost the game if they had played the Arcane Twining beforehand, because it would have been like exact lethal later on a turn when I couldn't protect myself. So I might have been able to pull it out because the turn that my opponent put me down to 4, I was in a situation where I was swinging hammer, and I could have just held 2 blues for the rest of the game, just to try and stay alive to not die to that. But I ended up beating it as we were able to live through. I was able to live through the combo, and we got to win round 2. So I'm 1-1 at this point. Round 3, I played against my buddy Zach, who I referenced earlier. He's an Atlanta local. He was playing Arachne Marionette. I got to go first in this matchup, and I was at 7 when the game ended. I did win. I wrote down that my opponent had a very slow start, and I closed it out with Estate and Golden Suns. I do not play Remembrance against Mario. I do not think it's needed to win the games, and I don't really think you have the breathing room to go for that game plan in this matchup. But Zach had one of the craziest, slowest starts in the world. Like, he kept drawing no attacks and all like buffs, and like I wasn't able to mark me in a lot of situations, and there was just a lot of like clunky hands for my opponent that really made their start slow. And so I was able to accumulate all this value, was able to do a lot of things, like pressure them a lot. I did have to take a little bit of damage here and there to be able to throw things like Spinal or play Goldmane Estates. Sink Belows lined up very well in this match, which was very, very nice. So I was able to get a win here, and I moved to 2-1. Still alive, and we're playing for top 8 at this point. We're still alive for top 8. I played versus a very strong combo player and got very close to winning my match by pitch stacking Style Crush into their combo. It was a new strategy for me and was surprisingly effective. So, Michael, it's funny that you bring that up, because that's actually one of the things I do I talk about in my metafy guide, is that my plan into Verdance is to be on double Poison the Well for their combo turn. Excuse me. Is to be on double Poison the Well for their combo turn. And then after that, I am also looking to pitch stack Command and Conquers Boulder Drop, Spinal Crush to try to throw disruption at them like 5 to 6 turns in a row second cycle so that they're not able to just combo me whenever they have it, and we can just keep them on the back foot and pedaling and hopefully put them low enough to where they're forced to start blocking with cards and they have to combo with less. So I'm glad that that worked for you, because that's what I've been trying to do, and it works so well. The pitch stacking like Spinals and Command and Conquers is a fantastic play. It is a fantastic play, Michael. I love doing that. Round 4, we got our other buddy from Florida. We played Trent round 4. And he was playing Rhinar. And as you can guess, he was giving me the business.
Lizard.
Trent sits down across the table from me. And he goes, I hope you're ready to get waxed. And I'm just like,
show me what you got.
All right, I'm done with the soundboard for a minute. But for real, though, like, Trent was talking mad smack before the game started. And to be fair, he backed it up. I will give him that. So round 4, I played against Trent. I did have to go second. Unfortunately, Trent triple intimidated me on turn 0 and put me down to 33. I put in my notes here that I had 2 tests of strength early, and I had whiffs on top of my deck both times. So I was forced to give up gold on both of those. 7 damage was leaked on turn 0, and I started the game at 33. And there was 2 intimidates late in the game that took my Sink Below, and it took my Golden Sun, and that probably cost me the game. So we got into a situation where I was looking for, like, we were both low. Trent's at 12. I'm like at 9 or 7. And I'm looking for Golden Suns to close the game out. Well, I draw a hand that is blue, Sink Below, Golden Sun. And I'm thinking, okay, I need you to intimidate a blue and a Golden Sun. Or if you're going to intimidate a Sink Below, I'm going to have to keep the Golden Sun and need enough life. So that's really tough. And Trent ended up intimidating the Golden Sun and the Sink Below for my hand. So I was forced into a turn where I had to block with both of my blues. Like, I don't think I could stay out of Reckless Swing range if I didn't. And so I had to block 6. And then from there, I had to pitch a Golden Sun to crack a gold on my turn. I luckily drew into a blue. I threw Boulder Drop for my arsenal, and I arsenaled Sink Below. What I was aiming to do was to block with a blue and a Sink Below. And then from there, I wanted to throw Boulder Drop, arsenal my Golden Sun, and then I was going to look for a turn to throw it. I did get to throw a different Golden Sun later. Trent ended up taking 5 down to 5 from where he was at that point in the game. And the second Golden Sun was the hand after I needed it to be in, or like was a turn later, which means if I would have been able to block the way I wanted, I would have stayed at higher life, blocking 7 instead of 6. I would have been able to disrupt Trent a little bit, throw Golden Sun the turn after, and then throw Golden Sun the turn after that to try and close the game out. So it was really just like a weird, unfortunate set of circumstances, and things did not pan out well for me in that situation. So it is what it is. The Intimidates went Trent's way, and I ended up losing the game to a Reckless Swing. I played around the first Reckless Swing by going down to 4, and I was going to stay at 3 or better for the rest of the game. And then Trent had the second Reckless Swing, which I don't really think I can afford to play around, but maybe I'm supposed to. Maybe the threshold for me is I start the game at 36, and so I need to like stay at 5 life or better. I don't know, but I did that to both of them. Trent played the game very well. He was very patient with his turns when he needed to block, and he ended up closing the game out. So we moved to 2-2. I'm dead for top 8, but we have one more round coming. Again, playing for some more tickets. Dave, I know you just said that you don't do D-Reacts into Rhinar. I understand that, but with the way my deck is set up, it is Clash cards or defense reactions. The defense reactions can at least find a home in my arsenal so that I can use them on a later turn. If they take the block cards, I'm literally just forced to pitch them away or IP them. So I don't like holding the block cards. I don't like having as many of those in the matchup if I can help it. Intimidate is a hell of a mechanic. I agree. Intimidate can be the most broken thing to do, or or do nothing in the game. That's very true. Prince Reinar is pretty darn good. Now it's scary. Yeah, dude, Trent made the deck look good. You can't clear all blocks and sinks. Yeah, no, I can't get rid of all my blocks and my sinks with the way my deck is set up. Dave. All right, so round 5, I played against another Verdance. So I'm gonna read back my matchups to you through 5 rounds of the ProQuest Plus. Now, I did win against the Verdance, and I will we'll talk about this here in just a second. In my 5 rounds playing Victor at the ProQuest Plus, I played 2 Verdants, a Reinar. I played a Mario, which is okay, that matchup's not bad. And then I played a Volda. I played 4 matchups that I think are unfavored for me. Because even though we have tech into Verdance, I still think they are favored, and it requires us to draw well, and it requires us to pitch stack well. So, just 4 bad matchups in 5 rounds and still going 3-2. Even though I didn't make top 8 and I did finish 11th, I'm not entirely disappointed with that, because we played so many bad matchups on Sunday that I think I'm going to cut myself a little slack there. So I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break. Maybe I'm being too generous to myself. I don't know. Okay, so I was at 12 when the game was over. This was the game where my pitch stack into Verdance plan came together perfectly. I had a hand that lined up that allowed me to throw Command and Conquer. I threw Spinal Crush the turn after that. I threw Boulder Drop one turn to take a card out of hand. I think I had 2 Command and Conquers, a Boulder Drop, and 3 Spinal Crushes set up in pitch stack. And so it all just kind of came together. And my opponent ended up having to combo me with only 1 Rampant Growth in Life in their hand when they went for it, because they were looking for a turn with no disruption. And they took the turn where I threw Hammer at them when I had an off turn. So they took that turn. I ended the game at 12. Because they only had 1 Rampant Growth in Life, I was in a really good position to just be able to block out the rest of the game and just stay in a good spot until I eventually fatigued them. We did almost run out of time in that match, but my opponent conceded because I think they realized there weren't really anywhere left to go in that game. So I appreciate them doing that. Tyler was super cool. Apparently he's also a Florida local to Calum. So it was kind of nice to get to play another local there. But yeah, that was my weekend. We finished 16th at Battle Hard in Atlanta, finished at 11th at the ProQuest Plus, and we're going to learn from some of our mistakes, and we're going to try to run it back for next weekend. I joined in round 5, optimal timing. That's so funny. That's me. It was a fun game. You played it perfectly. Yo, thank you, Logic. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a whole bunch, man. I enjoyed our game. And I appreciate that. Tyler's a very cool guy. Yeah, see, I love that Trent knows all these guys. So Trent knows all this. What did I get for all the tickets? All right, guys. So I'm gonna level with you. I made a very bad decision with my tickets. I normally, when I go to Star City Games events, I take all my tickets and I like to buy those cool playmats with them because I like to give them away to you guys. I like to raffle them off during the streams and stuff like that. And I think that's a lot of fun. So I walk up and I'm looking at the playmats. Trent gets some packs of high seas and I'm like, okay, whatever. You got some packs of high seas. Sure. They open a box and take the gold pack out. And I'm like, oh, you can just give Trent the gold pack, just trying to be funny. And the lady's like, if you buy a whole box, you get the gold pack. And I'm like, really? Well, I'm 200 tickets short of an entire box of high seas. So Drew gives me 200 tickets. We kind of split the box and we get the gold pack. And I should have bought the mat. Our box was terrible. Our box was garbage. We should have bought the playmat to give away to you guys. So I'm sorry. Y'all missed out because of my bad decision. So that one's on me. That one's on me, guys. My bad. Saturday. I wake up. I get to the event hall. I'm thinking to myself, man, they got a nice little cafe breakfast place in here. I'm going to grab a sausage egg McMuffin or something. I'm going to grab coffee. We're going to hit the event. We're going to crush it. Well, turns out the little sandwich place that I'm thinking of doesn't open till 9. Well, the event starts at 9, so I never had a chance to go back up. So at the end of the day, it's 4:30. I have not eaten all day. I have not eaten all day. I literally had zero to eat all day. I've been drinking my water all day, and that's all I've had, which is like, it's fine. But I'm getting a headache. I know that we're going to dinner soon, but I'm starving. I'm dying. I have a migraine. My head hurts so bad. I just need to eat something. There's a Nathan's hot dog place, like vending at the place. So I'm like, boom, dude, we'll get a Nathan's hot dog. This is perfect. I'll have like a Coke so I can have some caffeine. We'll get rid of this headache and we'll go have some dinner. Hot dog, tiny. Tiny hot dog. I mean, tiny little hot dog. It was terrible. It felt like it had been sitting in there all day. The bun fell apart. I didn't like it. It was terrible. It was terrible. Oh, you guys asked about buying the gold pack in Philly? Oh, that's weird. I wonder why. The Gamba is hard to resist. It's so facts. It's so facts, though. Yeah, no. I know. So yeah, anyway, had this hot dog. It was absolutely trash. Hot dog was terrible. I was like, thank God I ate something because it did make my headache go away. I took some Excedrin. I had like a Coke Zero to get some caffeine or something, and then I had that hot dog, which helped my headache. And then we went to this place in Atlanta called Just Around the Corner. My God, it was so good. It was so good. But yeah. Trent did open a Riches with his tickets. Well, I should say Ashley opened a Riches with Trent's tickets. What playmat would it have been? I don't remember which playmat it was. I know it was Oakenold. It was going to be an Oakenold playmat I was going to get to give away to you guys. Yeah, bad hot dogs. I know, right? I like bad hot dogs most of the time. Like most of the time, the bad hot dogs are actually okay. This hot dog was actually bad. Like it was bad. I would not advise it. The steamed buns at the event were pretty gas. Clearly, I must have gotten a bad one. Do I have a Golden Sun playmat? Yes, I do have a Golden Sun playmat. That will not be given away. That is in my personal collection. I have so I have a closet over here. And in the top of it, there's a little shelf, and I keep on the shelf a bunch of playmats. I kind of just stock them up, and I like to give them away to 24-hour stream, do some of them for Telestar tournaments, stuff like that. Well, in the corner, I have a section of things that are like mine that I don't give away. The dinner place is called Just Around the Corner, Michael. The retort mat? Wait, what retort mat? Damien. Was a bad hot dog. Was a bad hot dog. Did we get a top 5 playmats video? I mean, I'd be down to do something like that if you guys wanted to. At both Philly and Montreal, they had high C's packs. I asked that there would be no gold packs. Interesting. I wonder if it's because it was Star City Games this weekend and they just decided to be different or something. I sent DM Armada a Blazing Ether playmat for free in the early Fab days to thank him for his contributions. Yo, Matt, that's awesome, dude. I'm sure that made his day. I'm sure he loved that. So, anyway, Battle Hard in Atlanta was good. I had a good time. I had a lot of fun. It's always good to see friends and get to hang out. Like I say in all those shorts, play the game, see the world, make some friends. And that's the truth. I get to see old friends, make new friends, and just have a good time at every event I go to. And we're going to continue on placing better and doing better throughout the rest of the year. So, anyway. Way. All right, we talked about my weekend. We're going to talk about Victor here in just a little bit. And now we're going to talk about some data that we have from RTN events, callings, things like that over this weekend. We're going to talk about all of it so that we can break down the information and you guys can share what you think, because I'm going to be yapping about all this nonsense for a few minutes. So here are our total wins that we have across the weekend. It looks like there was a lot more RTN events than there were last weekend, which is interesting. I don't know why that was. So Verdance at number 1. Right behind Verdance had 19 wins. The 18 wins right behind that was Florian, which is hilarious to me because I know a lot of people thought that both Verdance and Florian were dead. So it's kind of fun to see them both doing well. Admittedly, I did not think we were going to see Florian doing well after they banned Rubon Carapace, but Florian be thriving, dog. Third on our list, we have Arachne Marionette and KO Armed and Dangerous tied at 14 each. Having 14 each is pretty interesting. I have to say, I did say before I left that I felt like it was going to be a good weekend for KO Armed and Dangerous. It looks like it was a good weekend for KO Armed and Dangerous at the Artian level, but not really at the Battle Hardened level or at like the Callings. Excuse me. Jesus. So KO didn't really show up too well, it seems like, at the larger events, but did pretty well at the at some Artians. Right after this, we have 3 heroes with 10 wins each: Gravy Bones, Kasai, and Acilio. So Kasai and Acilio kind of holding place at, like, near the top, but not at the top. Gravy Bones falls from the top of the list, but still had 10 wins. So Gravy Bones still with a pretty respectable number of wins. Prism after this was 7. Fang with 6 wins. I'm actually very glad to see Fang with an uptick in wins from last week, because I think Fang is one of the decks that people are sleeping on right now. Syndra had 5 wins. Victor, Horse Nation, had 4 wins. Victor had 4 wins. Dash.io had 3 wins. Slippy, Huntsman, Dorinthia, and Vincent all had 2 wins. And then RKO, Valda, Jarl, Phi getting on the board, Katsu, Levia, Reinar, and Bolton. Okay, all had 1 win. So this is another week to me where we are seeing a few heroes kind of up here, but like nothing crazy. I mean, like, look at this number. So like, this is the thing that's interesting to me. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decks right now that all had a less than 10-digit difference in number of wins. That is really interesting to me. That is, like, again, this feels like signs of like an open meta, kind of like the Wild Wild West. And I think right now we're at a point in the meta where I think a lot of people are actually not super happy with it. And I say that because I think a lot of people, the higher level players, like a meta that you can target, that you can try to pick on, that you can utilize information to really try to pick the meta apart. And right now the meta just feels wide open. 7 decks with a difference of 9 or less wins in 1 week of RTNs is really close. Bolton better than RKO confirmed. LOL, that's hilarious. What's Florian's LL status? Florian is like up there now, right? With 18 wins, I think Florian's towards the top. Plus, Florian won the Calling. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute, but I mean, Florian's up there, right? Like, it's over 900, right? It's over 9,000. He's number 1 at 936. Okay. You just have to play your game and be good. So, Lazy Chicken, I actually agree with you. I love the wide open meta. The reason that I like the wide open meta is that Victor is a deck that kind of like picks on some of the goober decks. Like, I've adopted that term from Taylor, but like there are decks in the format that are like quote unquote goober decks. And Victor generally does well into a lot of those decks. Not always, but generally. And we're teching for some of the more popular matchups right now. So, I mean, at 936, I mean, Florian might be out the door soon. We might see Florian gone before RTN season's up, which is interesting. So what does all this mean? Like, how should you take this data and prepare for your local RTN? I talked about this in my video last week, and I'm going to talk about it now. I don't think you should look at this and go, oh my God, I have to be ready to play against Verdance next week. The only way that you should be sitting down and saying that you have to be ready to beat Verdance next week is if you are in a meta where you know there are multiple, where you know there are multiple Verdants like showing up from your locals that are good players. I'm not saying you shouldn't use this information to move forward and to like be like, hey, this like Florian won 18 events. Maybe if Florian's not dead, maybe I should be more prepared for it. Taking that information and being ready to be able to like pair into like multiple decks and having game plans is a very good thing to do. But don't let this information dictate and change your entire sideboarding decision. Don't make it like, don't let it like warp your entire deck or deck building strategy. I just don't want people to see this information and be like, oh my God, I have to change everything to be ready for this. Because RTNs are still your local meta. They are people who drive within 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours to come play at events. And so, like, don't warp everything to be ready for your RTN. Make sure you come with a good game plan. Use this data to say, you know what? Florian and Verdance are winning. Marionette's winning. Chaos winning. I'm going to bring a little bit of extra help, but not change everything. Or maybe you have bad matchups into other things and you're like, okay, well, let's add in one tech card to try and help or something like that. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm just nonsense rambling. And I'm sure it does come across that way sometimes, but I hope what I'm saying makes sense. Use this to your advantage. Don't make it a crutch and hurt yourself before you ever walk through the doors of your own RTN this weekend. This info is why I chose to disrespect Acilio as gravy. Oh boy. RTN isn't like PT where you can't play after you win, right? No, you are correct, Justin. Yeah, like I won a road to nationals and I'll be playing at one not this weekend, but next weekend. Weird question. Do you generally see any view difference on shorts based on what hashtags you use? Mine are all over the place for non-discernible reasons. I mean, Donnie, not really. I use the same 2 hashtags every time I post a short. It's hashtag Fab TCG and hashtag shorts. And that's it. Like, that's all I put on there. I don't put anything crazy. Or if it's something else, I put hashtag, like when I post Arc Raiders, I put hashtag Arc Raiders and hashtag shorts. That's all I do. I don't do anything crazy with mine. Had 0 Mario and 0 Verdance, but 3 Armed and Dangerous. Yeah. Yo, Cusco. The vibes are what we make them, dog. Missed you saying that in the chat, brother. I played 2 in a row. We were trying to get friends their invites. I mean, yeah. Like, it's good to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I think I like to help my friends get there. I just say to make sure your deck is good into a wide amount of decks with small amount of tech into the hard matchups. I mean, you either need to tech hard for the bad matchups or you need to like tech very limited. I agree with that. If I hit Acilio, I win or lose. I disrespected Kano too. I mean, if that's how you want to play it, that's fine. Like, you know, like I get it. Like, not every deck can take that chance, but if that's how you feel, 100%. I played 1 Fatigue Pleiades, Lucas. It was my teammate Randy. I talked about it earlier in the story time. Yeah. Yep. My local is all Earth, and I'd rather roll scabs than grind 55-minute fatigue games every round. I mean, I get that. Well, actually, I don't get that because I'm still playing Victor. Anyway, so Road to Nationals is very interesting. The data is good to acknowledge and take a look at. Don't over tech based off data you see, I guess, is the big key takeaway here for what we're talking about. Are you going to be at Memphis, by the way? I don't know. Memphis is the one on the list that I haven't solidified yet. I am going to Columbus this weekend. I am working out whether I'm going to San Diego or not. And then after that, I'm also working out Memphis or not. And we'll kind of figure it out from there. I mean, yeah, I say I get that because I understand not wanting to play fatigue matchups all day, but God, I really like playing like 45-minute games. I won't lie. I love that shit. I played against the Pleiades Fatigue deck this weekend, and it felt like I would rather be hit by a car than play against it again. I mean, it's a good deck if people know what they're doing, Philip. I hadn't considered tagging the actual platform. Yeah, I've learned that like hashtag shorts does pretty well. Have I seen a new spicy Rhinar list? We have a local who plays a Medax Rhinar list, and then I've seen Trent's Rhinar list because I was too busy losing to it. I'm not sure what you mean other than that, Michael. I would like to play Fab for the full 55 minutes. I've seen your deck list, Amy, and I'm sure you do, dog. I'm sure you do. Small chance I'm going to Memphis. Just depends on work after the move, so I figured I would ask. Well, dude, if you're going to make it, I mean, I'm going to try to go, but if you're going to make it, hopefully we get to hang out, dog. We can grab dinner or something. I still haven't seen this Pleiades list. Justin, trust me. It's not mine to share, is what I'm going to say to everybody. It is not mine to share, but it's probably on the Fab TCG website from Battle Hardened Atlanta top 8. There was two. There was two in top 8. The Battle Hardened. Medax is the new build. Yeah, we have a local who's been playing that new list. Yeah, it's on the website. I thought it was. Okay, let's talk about some of the other data that we have set up here. So the next thing I want to talk about calling Akihabara. I think I'm saying that right. Nobody's corrected me yet, so I'm assuming I'm saying it right. This is the metagame breakdown. Verdance was the #1 most represented hero. I think we have very bad statistics to talk about for Verdance.
Lizard.
Coming on the next slide. I'm not sure yet, but I think so. Syndra was second most represented at 24. Gravy Bones was also at 24. Married at 23. KO at 22. Acilio at 20. Florian 19. Dio 18. Kasai 17. Prism at 14. Interesting. Huntsman 8. Dory 8. Fang 8. Ira 8. Or I'm sorry. Fang 7. Ira 7. Rhinar, Victor, Vincent, all at 6. 6 victors. I think one made day 2. We're going to check in just a minute. RKO at 5. Slippy and Puffin at 4. I saw that really cool Puffin on stream at one point. Lyeth and Riptide at 3. Pleiades at 2. Did not see Pleiades do well. Betsy, as you guys know, that constantly triggers me, but Betsy did finish like 14th, I think, at the calling or something. Actually, a great run. 1 Fi, 1 Jarl, 1 Katsu, 1 Levia, 1 Marlin, and 1 Valda. Yo, what up, Liam? Betsy, best deck in the format, police. I mean, if they get her a log, maybe. I think you need to lump all top 6 heroes together. 20 to 25 is basically equal representation. I mean, sure, that's fine. That's fine. Everyone thinks Verdant should still be good until they play the deck and realize it sucks. I mean, there was one in top 8 of Battle Hardened Atlanta, but we're like, don't get me wrong. I know that this was in Japan. I'm pretty sure Akihabara is in Japan. I think. 282 players and a ninja being the second most represented hero does not surprise me at all. APAC is very, very commonly like becoming known for being ninja players. Verdance being first kind of surprised me though. It's really interesting that the triangle is still the top 3 represented decks. Like the triangle we were talking about at Worlds is the top 3 represented decks in this like breakdown. And so I just thought that was super interesting. I don't know. Like I just thought that was really interesting. Del Secret Lair in Nothos is a log for Betsy. That would be funny. Oh, it's in Tokyo? Okay, cool. 19 Florian is the biggest surprise. I'm not going to lie. I actually kind of saw that coming. But that is because somebody on my team predicted this being very, very good the first 2 weeks of our TN season. So I kind of saw Florian on like being on the list. So I know that there were other teams and other people who were playing Florian and having success with it, but I think Florian being that highly represented actually did not come as a surprise to me because I had somebody kind of call it. Japan does also seem to love Florian. That's true. If APAC is Ninja, then what's EU and US? Ooh. What is the most represented deck in EU and US? I have no idea. That's a great question, Michael. That's a great question. And I feel like once Florian leaves, Ira gets a lot of stonks, right? Gravy probably goes up some. Ira probably does get better. I don't know. That's a great question, actually, Drew. It's a really good question. You played against my buddy Caleb this weekend, and now I get to deal with the ego trip you put him on. Also, my Florian is 13 RTNs from LL right now. 13 RTNs will definitely be hit for Florian, I think, by the end of the time. At least I think. And I get to listen to him have that ego trip. I mean, listen, Caleb made me sweat, dog. Caleb put up a really good game. Caleb, whew, that was one of the toughest Prism games I played in a while. Caleb was making me sweat. Okay, let's take a look at our day 2 conversion percentage. I want to find this right here. This is what I want to talk about. The most represented deck in Verdance had a 12% conversion rate. What's the highest conversion rate? Obviously, like the 100%ers are ridiculous. Like that doesn't count. Kasai at 35%. 6 of 17 is pretty solid. Yeah, Kasai having 6 of 17 converts pretty good. Florian went 7 for 19, which is pretty good. RKO had 2 of their 5 get into the next day. Betsy finishing top 14 is like actually low-key kind of crazy. Valda made day 2, 1 Puffin, 1 Victor made day 2. 3 Prisms. 3 Prisms, like 21% is not great. I mean, Slippy had 50%, but that's only 2 out of 4. So I don't know. Like, this is another one of those ones where like I'm like, guys, don't use all the numbers here as like hard and fast facts, but I do think it's important to like take a look at some of this stuff. Florian having like one of the highest. I think Florian has the highest percentage based off of the amount of people repping it at 37%. Like RKO went 2 of 5. Valda and Betsy only had 1, so we can't really count that, although it is cool that they made day 2. And then Kasai at 35% and Florian at like 7 of 17 or 16 or whatever it was. I can't remember. Maybe it was 7 of 19. I don't know. It's not super important, but like seeing those 2 numbers up there is like, it's good to look at. It's good to know that information. To know that like Florian and Kasai are decks that are converting well and they have good percentages and they're putting things together. Like this was probably a hard room for Prism. I agree. I think it was a very hard room for Prism. That makes sense. How would you explain the conversion disparity between Florian and Verdance? That is actually a phenomenal question. So let's take a look at this. Let's talk about Verdance and the 12% versus Florian and the 37%. There are 2 main reasons that I would say that Florian did so much better than Verdance at this event. The first reason that I'm going to say that is that Florian's a mid-range deck. Florian is a deck that, like, when you are not sure what to do, you kind of fall into that Guardian play pattern. Block 9 to 10. Throw some Rune Chance and a Scepter. Some decks can't block the Rune Chance because they don't bring AB, so you can slowly bleed them out, which I think is important. Florian is also a deck that possesses this mid-range capability, but you can also just be on like CMH and then go Rune Rager Swarm for 6 or Swarming Gloomveil for 6 and then like set it up in next turn. You get to like end a turn on a Command and Conquer for 9. You have so many important tools in the Florian deck that I actually think we are in a position right now where being able to play hyper good offense and also being able to play like very good defensive structure makes this very good. Plus, the people who are still playing Florian are the true Florian believers, I think. Like, I think those are the people who are like, I like Florian. I'm going to play Florian. It's not dead. We're going to make this happen. Verdance and Wizard all at the same time are like decks and classes that I think some people tend to gravitate towards because they like the idea. It's fun to kill your opponent at instant speed. It is fun to be able to do like this or that or whatever. Verdance is a deck that also plays in a very mid-rangey style. It is a deck that gets punished for making bad blocks a lot. To play Verdance, you have to have a higher knowledge and like skill threshold, I would say, than you do to play Florian. I would say the same thing about playing Verdance versus playing Victor. Like, Victor is a deck that naturally wants to block and do these things. Florian is a deck that with certain hands wants to block and just like, grind the game out. Verdance is a deck that goes into the game trying to look for every single point of value you can get because every piece of arcane is so important. So the value of Verdance having like the weight, I should say, of Verdance having such a low conversion percentage should not deter you from wanting to play Verdance in this meta. I think it more than anything is a translation of probably somebody saw it win a calling a few weeks ago, or it won a battle harden, or it did well at this or at that, or whatever it was. It was OO won the calling the weekend after the bans. And people were like, oh, Verdance isn't dead. I'm going to play Verdance because nobody will be expecting it or this or that. And so I think Verdance had such a low conversion percentage because some people probably hopped on that bandwagon after the bans. Plus, and I'm going to say this, some of the other reasons that I do not think Verdance did very well is this matchup right here. I have never played the matchup. This is like an off-the-cuff feeling that I have. I have a gut feeling that KO is just one of those aggro decks that maybe just takes it to Verdance. I'm not saying it's always like that. And again, this is where like being a good Verdance player is a difference between winning and getting obliterated. But KO seems like a deck with the ability to be able to just go aggressive enough to be able to like put Verdance on the back foot. And KO was like in the top 5 or 6 most represented decks. So that would really be my breakdown on where I think that went from. So I hope that helped answer your question. I would imply that Florian has better numbers and spread than Verdance, and the conversion is more of a result of 2 decks power level rather than popularity. I mean, I guess that's fair. Like, that's fair. That makes sense. How well the Verdance can throw damage back and how much damage the KO can draw. I mean, sure. I'm just like sharing like my thoughts and like why I think that happened. But yeah, no, I like you put all those things together, and I'm not really surprised Verdance didn't have a good pick. I still think Verdance is like a good deck and a good thing to be playing. Let's take a look at our top 8. Our top 8 was 3, count them 3, Arachne Marionette, 2 Syndras, 1 Florian, 1 Acilio, 1 Dio. The 1 Dio being our boy Sam Sutherland, a mechanologist player through and through, all the way. Like, he is tried and true. Sam Sutherland loves mechanologist. In a minute, we're gonna talk about Syndra. And I wanna take a minute to kind of talk about Syndra and share some of my thoughts about Syndra. Gordon Coco, making top 8 playing Syndra is not surprising to me. He is a Syndra stan through and through. He really likes Syndra. He's a very good Syndra player. I got to see some of his list that he was playing. I don't think I've got to see the entire list yet. I haven't looked at it. But to see Gordon top 8 is not surprising. He was on Lava Vein Loyalty, which was one of the 2 directions I pushed Syndra after post bans. So some number of Lava Vein Loyalty works out pretty well. But Florian taking down the whole event. Florian beats a Marionette, which I think is a good matchup for Florian. Florian beats Gordon Coco in the semifinals, which Syndra used to be very good into Florian. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I didn't get to watch the game. I don't know what happened. I also think Sam Sutherland and the Gaichi Yamada was the stream match in the semifinals, so I don't know. And then the finals was Florian versus Arachne Marionette. I have been told that I should watch the finals, that it was an absolute banger of a game. I have been told that it was amazing and that I should watch it. I've not got to watch the whole thing yet. I just kind of like skipped through some of the parts to catch up a little bit. But I did see like parts of the game and stuff like that. So congrats to Ryosuke Uraze. I really hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. For taking it down on Florian. It's really cool. I mean, and I just, the other thing, and I was not able to take a picture of it because Fab had not uploaded something like the Battle Hardened Gdansk, I think is how you say that. If I got it wrong, I apologize. Gdansk was won, the Battle Hardened was won by Syndra as well. I cannot remember the gentleman's name. I saw his picture and I immediately recognized his face. He was playing Syndra and won the Battle Hardened. So we are seeing 2 Syndras in top 8. We are seeing a Syndra win Battle Hardened Gdansk. And I want to talk about Syndra for just a minute here. Like, I want to spend a minute to talk about Syndra because I have been all over the place. I have went kind of back and forth. There have been times when I've said that she is the worst best deck in the format. I've played her at events. I don't know. Anyway, Syndra is still very good in our post-ban world. After winning a Battle Hardened, 2 in the Calling top 8, it is very clear that Syndra is going to need a little bit of a rebuilding other than just jamming Tag the Target in the deck. But Syndra is still very good. So if you are on the fence about whether you should be playing Syndra at your RTNs or whether you should be playing Syndra at any event, you should play Syndra. The deck is still good. If you like it, play it. I do not think it'll disappoint you. Anyway, I wanted to take that moment to just kind of like talk about that because that was something that I've received a few messages about, and I just wanted to be out there for everybody. Okay, we're gonna give this L. Gdansk winner on Syndra. Philip Mikola Jaskic. I know I butchered the shit out of that. I am so sorry. I am so sorry to everybody. I know I butchered the living shit out of that. Anyway, yeah. So this was calling Akibara in Japan from this past weekend, where Florian took it down, and Florian is now at 936 LL points. Or as somebody said earlier, we are now 13 Florian RTN wins away from being LL. There are, I want to talk about Battle Hard in Atlanta, and I also want to talk about I want to talk about the Silver Age Battle Harden at Akihabara. I want to talk about that as well. So, taking a look at this was the final standings after round 7. I think it was we played 7 rounds. This was the standings after round 7. This is not how the whole thing finished. This is not where it was at. This is what happened. First off, big congrats to our boy Randy, Team Breakpoints, making it top 8 of the Battle Hard, and super happy to see that. I was also very happy to see my boy Thomas in top 8 playing also the Pleiades deck. You'll notice, like Thomas, he's really cool. Wet the System, I know he's Wet the System on YouTube. Him and I became friends last year at ProQuest Plus Atlanta, or 2 years ago, or whenever that was. So yeah, congrats to him. Also, Philip, we got Philip out here. Philip is a longtime Ira player. Him and I, we don't really chat that much outside of events, but we always chat at events. So happy to see him doing well. And then also down here, we got my boy Ty from South Carolina in the top 8 playing a Valorian. So congrats to everybody who made top 8. Just want to shout out a few people that I've like known and become friends with over the course of some time. I'm skipping Poland. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Michael? Oh yeah, other Philip. Sorry, not you, Philip. Other Philip on the screen. The event ended up being won by Andrew Cook playing Acilio. Heard he ended up taking the entire event down. There was 2 Acilios in top 8, 2 Pleiades in top 8. We have a Gravy Bones, we have an Ira, we have a Florian, and we have a Verdance. A very diverse top 8, I would say. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, we have 2 decks that are repeating, but, you know, like, no Cinder in top 8. Ira sneaking into the top 8, which is pretty cool. Just having like a pretty diverse top 8 and some good decks here and there. Yeah, Michael, did you not hear me earlier? Buddy, I said that I could not get the screenshot of Gdansk because it was not working on Fab's website. That's why we're not like talking about the top 8 because I don't have it. I don't have the picture. I was not able to get the top 8 from earlier. So, yo, we got some Thai lovers in the chat. I love it, dude. Also, Andrew, what's up? So yeah, Battle Hardened Atlanta, super interesting meta. I think Gravy Bones was the #1 represented deck, I think is what Drew ended up telling me. That Gravy Bones was #1 represented, but I have not confirmed that yet. So take that for what it's worth. And then, yeah. Anyway, congrats to Andrew on winning the whole thing. And then the other event that we have to talk is Battle Hardened Akihabara. This was a Silver Age event. This might have been a showdown. Oh, it is up now? Okay, I'll pull it up in just a second. We'll talk about it then, Michael. So yeah, just like this was a Silver Age event. Honestly, not a lot has changed. There are 4 chains, 2 Oldhams, a Bravo Flattering Showman, and then an Ira sneaks in. We are continuing to see in Silver Age that it is the chain and Oldham show right now. And, you know, every now and again we see a Bravo Flattering Showman. Excuse me. Or an Ira sneak into top 8. So, also, yo, I didn't notice that Michael Funga in top 8 playing chain. I did not notice that. But yeah, just like, I don't know, it continues to be the chain and Oldham show in Silver Age is what I'm noticing. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what kind of what heroes they're going to get rid of. Hang on real quick. Let me pull up Battle Hardened Gdansk. Let's pull this up and see if it's working. It wasn't working earlier, so that's why I didn't pull it up for you guys. Yeah, it's not, Michael, it's not there. Standings data is not available for this round. Please check back later. Final standings. Yeah, it says it's not available. Like, Michael, I don't know where you're seeing the top 8, but it's not on Fab's official website. At least it's not for me anyway. It's not popping up. It's not popping up for me. Jan's been talking about Strange, about Sage, how Strange. Listen, I'm just excited for the format to get, like, you know, I'm just excited for the format to get mixed up a little bit. Is really all. That's really like where I'm at right now. Okay, so let's take a look at our Victor deck. And before we talk about Victor, I want to talk about Tunic. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. You will notice that on the cover, like on the, you know, the thumbnail of the video tonight, there's Tunic with a big X on it. Last week, you guys asked me, do we need Tunic to beat Verdance? And a couple people chimed in. Some people said no. Some people said it just helps. Things like that. So we're going to talk about Tunic and if it's needed. I want to play a second copy of Remembrance in my deck. And it ultimately came down to, do we cut Performance Bonus, which hurts our Gravy matchup, and it also hurts our Kasai matchup? Or do we cut Tunic and add in the second copy of Remembrance? The only matchup that I am playing Tunic into right now is the Verdance matchup. So if we are able to beat Verdance consistently without Tunic in our deck, then we can cut Tunic and we can add in that second copy of Remembrance to make other matchups better. So we're going to try cutting one piece to see if we can still beat Verdance, and we're going to test that this week to see how it goes. And then we're going to keep just like trying to grind out that matchup in hopes that we can fit in other tech slots into our Victor deck and try to help us shore up other matchups. And right now, that's the plan. We are going to cut the card and see what happens. Cut Tunic if you don't run Rampart for Gravy. I mean, I'm not running Rampart in my deck, so I think we're just going to cut Tunic and see how it feels. With that in mind, this is the new and updated Victor list that I've been working on. The only thing that I have changed from this weekend is that I have cut Tunic from my sideboard, and we're now playing a second copy of Remembrance. Even though I don't think Remembrance is very healthy for the game, I do think it is a solid strategy to be able to have in our deck. So being on this card feels very, very good. And we're just going to jam a second copy of it in there. Let's see. Michael said we can see the top 8 via deck list. So we'll take a look at the deck list really quick and see if they're there. And then after that, we're going to jump in and play some games until about 9:45 or 10 o'clock. Because we are recording breakpoints at 10. Oh, okay, here it is. Here's all of it. Yeah, Battle Harden. Here is our deck list. Okay, so this was won by Sendra. Second place was a Florian. Third and fourth place was we have Fang and Acilio in third and fourth, and then fifth through eighth, meaning they lost in the quarterfinals. We have Florian, Marionette, Dorinthia, and a Gravy Bones. So 1 Gravy Bones, 1 Mario, 2 Florians, 1 Fang, 1 Acilio, 1 Dory, 1 Marionette, and 1 Syndra. Wow. So Florian, really the only repeat deck this weekend. If Florian would have won the Battle Harden, would that have been enough points to LL? Or Battle Harden's only 50, if I remember correctly. Are they only 50? You guys remember off the top of your head? Sorry, I know I'm just kind of like throwing that at you. I've been missing some breakpoints. Yeah, I hate that we couldn't get an episode up last week. So we're going to record tonight and get an episode out on Wednesday this week. I don't think Florian's at 1.5 yet. Florian's just now at 1, I'm pretty sure. I think Florian's just now at 1. 25 for a Battle Harden? Wow, I thought it was more than that. Almost makes me consider Fang over Kasai. I think Fang is one of the decks that's being slept on right now. Florian not at 1.5 until the fall? Okay. Fang just dies to other Dio and other aggro decks. I mean, you have chances to race those decks, right? Like, I believe you have chances. I mean, sure, it would have pushed him closer. I just didn't know if it pushed him over the finish line. If Florian won a Battle Harden, he would have LL'd next week. Yeah, that makes sense, Ty. Florian hit 1 right before Worlds. Oh. You can't race Dio? Okay. Don't look at the Fang list. It's evil. Yo, was it like Fatigue Fang, Gavin? Florian is at 1, but it looks worse because Florian took 500 LL points off a month of Scepter cringe. The rest of the Florians are upset. I mean, sure, like, don't get me wrong, like, Scepter cringe was, like, terrible. I hated that. Kind of sucked. Guys, I do have to use the bathroom, so we're going to take, like, a 2-minute break. I'm going to run an ad while we're gone, so if you like the channel, you like supporting me, I'd appreciate it if you watch the ad. It helped me out. I don't know, like, that's a weird thing to ask, but yeah, I'm trying to run ads while I'm not here so that it does it less while I'm streaming, so that you guys can watch more games, is what I'm trying to accomplish. So anyway, that's the objective. 2 minutes. When I come back, we're going to be playing some Victor. We're going to play at least a couple games before 10 o'clock, and that's going to be the end of the stream. So stick around, and I'll be back in just a minute, guys. full access to roast me. You have another like 60. I guess you could say you have another 67 seconds. 6-7. Kyle requested 5 subs of water. Fucking weeb. It was not water. That was not water.
Oh, here, have some water.
I was lied to. The lies. That scream just made Summer jump. Ian, please tell Summer I'm very sorry. What the fuck? We're gonna die? It was... Come on. Oh, T-Tox, I'm so good at this game. Yo, only 4 cups? Listen at this man. That is 4 full cups, Cusco. This fucking guy, bro. This fucking guy. What? Rookie numbers? Bro, Cusco's out here. Look, this motherfucker's just sitting over there with a pot of sauce going, oh yeah, I'm stirring that shit up, baby. I'm stirring it up. Yo, insane. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're going crazy. We hit Golden Sun off of 3 clashes off of Peck Perfect. Ah! Yes, this is what we love, baby. Horse Nation rides. Yes. Oh my god, we're going crazy tonight. This is as close as I'm ever going to get to going Super Saiyan right now. So I just need you all to know how, back-to-back Command & Conquer Pummel turns in back-to-back games! Ah! Is this like when Kyle lied to me and it's water? Why is there no cup on this handle? Do we trust this chat? Oh god! It's penetrating my mouth! And you know what? Just like Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not fucking leaving! That's right! This is the kind of content we're looking for right here. The fab tutorials that blow your mind. Blow your mind. The recipe is literally just vodka and Sprite and some Mio. You know, it's the water flavoring things. You know, like the little squirt. You squirt the little water in. You squirt the little juice in the water, and then it's like, oh, nom. This is so good. That's what it is. That's the secret sauce. I just crammed them all. Okay, short break, and we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed the new Be Right Back video. We added some stuff from the New Year's Eve thing. So yeah, let's play some games. Let's play some games. Make sure we change this. You'll love to see it. Hopefully we'll get some fun ones in. It wasn't water! The lies! Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny, Andrew. Andrew, were you in Atlanta for, were you in Atlanta for, Magic this weekend, dog? I don't remember seeing you. All right. So against Fang, we wanted to go first. Sag, we've lost. Let's concede. We're going to be on Small Hammer, Arcanite Skull Cap. We are on Boulder Drop, Bravado, E-Strikes. We're not on Midas Touch, Performance Bonus, or Poison the Well. We are on all 3 copies of Sink Below and all 3 copies. Oh, we cut a Choke Slam. That's right. I'm cutting a Choke Slam, and we're going to play all 3 Toigs and all 3 Sinks. And we're going to run it like this. And I'm going to try to make y'all proud. We'll see what we can get done. We are going second against Fang. We wish we were going first, but beggars and choosers and all that. Is it better just to block 6 on everything if we don't have cards we want to keep? In a hand like this? Like, is that just better for us? The Magic decks look sick, did they? Oh, well, that's not good. We are immediately getting punished with the opening hand they had. So clearly the answer was no. Well, I guess we're gonna block 3 on each of on each of these dagger attacks here. There's one fealty token. And then we're gonna block with E-Strike on this one right here. I mean, okay. So their hand was just actually insane. Jesus. All right. Their hand was like actually nuts. So we're marked, gets +2, attack an additional time, and we're gonna go to at minimum 38. Okay. So they have 2 fealties on turn 0, and we're at 38 because they had actually the craziest hand I've ever seen. They went 4 wide on turn 0. And while they only did 2 damage, they did set up 2 fealty tokens. So it's going to be a very hard game for us to keep them offline. This hand is not great. I think we are going to throw Boulder Drop, Arsenal the Debilitate, and then try to use Iron Fist Revelation this turn. It's probably going to be the objective. Oh, I mean, Perforate and Long Whisker Loyalty is actually crazy. It's a very good like combo to have any time, especially at the start. What you guys witnessed is why I like to go first in this matchup. Stopping them from doing nonsense like that on turn 0 is very impactful. Plus, it just gives us the chance to like throw hammer. There is no shot they're giving me 3 pieces of equipment. Jesus Christ, what is this hand? Their hand must be insane. Think she's the most slept on this meta? What makes you say that? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm curious to know what makes you say that. We're going to take a little bit of damage this turn. So we block like this, and then we can block with Revelation on the next hand. So Searing Gaze marks us. I mean, could have just as easily been Affirm Loyalty right there. So I don't think blocking with 2 cards is correct. And then clearly they want to play a pump here. I'm debating if we block 4 to deny them the 3rd fealty token, but I don't want to be marked, right? Like if it is a firm loyalty here, we're gonna feel like a big dum dum. I wonder if we block like this. Nah, we should block like this. I think this is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, this isn't great, but I think it's okay. They're just gonna keep their cards for next turn. Okay. Well, they didn't make a 3rd fealty, which is good, which means they are at minimum required to do we just want to throw this here and then arsenal this? I think just arsenaling this is better, right? Because we're giving ourselves a chance to try and draw another gold. And blue, like debilitate for 7 is not the best thing in the world, but it's better than nothing, I think. Okay. She had reasonable crust disruption and pressure. You'd think Gravy would be a bad matchup, but I've had little trouble out of him personally. I mean, I think Gravy is okay, right? Like I think as Valda, like you are the deck second. You are second behind. Oh shit, this is not good. I think you are second behind Jarl as decks that just like beats the shit out of Gravy. I think we're gonna bottom this. We need to find something else to block with. I mean, if we give him a card, it's gonna suck, but I don't think we can just sit here scared the entire game. I'm on it. Like, we're gonna keep fighting, but I'm worried they might have had too hot of a start for us to crawl back. Fang Gang starting off hot. Why is the Tuna X out on the thumbnail? So Brad, I ended up cutting it from the deck. We're just gonna make a fealty token. I mean, I'm just gonna swing the hammer. I think we're gonna leave this in our arsenal until we find something we want to do with it. I agree. Fang is terrifying when he gets rolling. Like, I do not like this matchup, especially when they get to go first. They can do some very scary things going first. That's why we picked to go first in this matchup. Yeah, Dynamo's in a card. Makes sense. Yeah, you bet, Brad. Happy to help. Also think you'd take Valda to an event and we'll get wins because most people don't know the matchups. I think at like an RTN level, that's accurate. I don't like maybe early stages of a calling, but like day 2 of a calling, people are going to know what Volta does and what to expect, I would say. So I don't know that I would bank on that game plan at all times. Let's win a clash. Yay! Discard a card. Okay. I don't think blocking 7 is correct, but we can make them discard the other card that's not Hunsend here. Probably fine. Force them to keep... Oh, they discarded the Hunsend. Wow. So it's an unknown card? Wow. That is surprising. I have to admit I'm a little surprised by that. I don't know what they're wanting to undo. I mean, I waited for like a solid 5 seconds there and just clicked pass again, so I don't know what they're wanting to do. Wait, what dress? Michael, what are you talking about, dog? I was told by Rob Alden together that Valda is great until you run into Verdance. And when you run into Verdance, you just cry. Maybe they did mean to play it. I don't know. That's 2 Hunsens out of the deck now. Oh, they lost all their fealty because they didn't play it. Oh my gosh. Oh, of course we kept the dress in a nice. Of course we kept the dress in a nice place. Come on, what do I look like, dude? What do I look like? Come on, Michael. Thought you knew me better than that, dog. Well, our opponent's mistake may actually end up being insane for us. Because now we can run out of state. I'm just going to block 6, play a state, and throw the hammer or something. Yo, Monster with the 7 months. Let's go. 7 months of Prime support over on Twitch. Monster, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. I know you were struggling with finding the button the other day, so I really appreciate you sharing that, man. It means a lot. Pretty little black dress I brought from TJ Maxx, yo. Yo, don't get me quoting Peanut Dog. Don't get me quoting Peanut Dog. Don't get me quoting Peanut Dog. Oh, do they get to mark me off of this? Oh shit. I didn't realize that stuck. It does though. That makes sense that it does. My brain wasn't processing. My brain was not braining right there. We're going to come in for 4. We're going to IP the Clash of Bravado and stare at him. What do you want Victor 2.0 to do? Heroes named Gravy Bones can't play the game against you is what I would like Victor to do. Nah, we leave that on top, fam. I'm kidding. I have no idea. That I'd have to sit down and think about that one for a second, to be honest. Yo, Billy, what up, dude? Stop hating? No. No one tells me what to do. How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? Huh? Huh? All right, I'm done now, I think. They're going to play a Tooth of the Dragon. Yep. We're going to take 1, become unmarked. They're going to get a fealty. We're going to block with Clash of Bravado. We have to keep the right behind you because we want to be able to get value out of our might tokens next turn. It finally showed up, Monster. I'm glad it did, and I appreciate you subbing, man. It means a lot. Putting cards away from the weekend. Open a case of First Monarch. Ooh, did you get anything cool from your case? No, we'll leave riches on top. That's fine. Copper Victor, who lost all his money from Lyeth backstabbing him, Inverse Kasai. That would be kind of cool, actually. I would low key be down for that. That would be fun. And they have no fealty, right? God, and they still have another attack? Jesus. I guess we'll take 1. All right, so they have 1 fealty. We're going to send the hammer for 7. We have 2 more Clash of Bravados we haven't seen yet. What's the strategy against Armed and Dangerous? Balance of Justice for the first Blood Rush Bellow. Quick Dodge Flexors for the second Blood Rush Bellow. And try to set up a Staunch Response or a Sink Below an Arsenal for the third. And just try to survive those turns. And then otherwise, you just grind them out. Yo, you got a Cold Foil Footsteps? I bet Caleb was over the moon about that, dog. Yo, Cold Foil, I mean, listen, I understand it being gross, but Cold Foil Footsteps is awesome. Name is Fealty, John Fealty. The strategy is not to pair into your friends at a ProQuest Plus. Oh, shit. You gotta be shitting me. They actually hit an attack. Whatever, dog. Yeah, the strategy against Reinar is the friends we made along the way. How's that, pal? That make you happy? Ugh, I hate doing that, but I understand. I'll block with the Golden Sun if I have to, but I would prefer not to. I'm not marked, so I would like to avoid getting marked if I can. I mean, maybe we're just looking for value here. I don't know. Okay. I don't hate that. Them making a Vigor token for next turn is pretty obnoxious. Wait, they didn't make a Vigor token? So they were waiting? For what? I mean, I'm assuming we're going to get value out of this Command and Conquer it. If not, we'll Arsenal it. God, for fuck's sake, I swear, dude. They get all 3 modes. That is the second time they have played Long Whisker Loyalty in 6 turns on Chainlink 3. That's crazy. And we can't let this hit us because if we do, I think this is correct, actually. We can do this, and then we can just Arsenal the CNC. I mean, I guess depending on how long they'd been sitting on that loyalty, it's actually not that crazy, but it just feels bad to me right now in this moment. It's probably more of what's happening. Sage. That I'm too small brain to understand. I mean, let me tell you, the Betsy was on to something. Yo, what's up, Adya? Strategy for Reinar is kill them before he kills you. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not always that easy. Were it so easy, as my good friend the Arbiter said. Blow up one of the fealties. Okay. I mean, I hadn't planned on checking the Betsy list, but I saw the Betsy game. Chum is a very good strategy into Reinar. Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. That checks out. I'm just gonna block 6. I'm not playing any games with a shit. You're gonna keep that card, and I'm gonna throw Command and Conquer at you, and that's that. Damn it. And then we're gonna draw our first test of strength, or I'm sorry, we're gonna draw a clash card. We've seen 2 D reacts. We've seen 5 of our 9 cards, which is like on pace. I'm sure they're just gonna give me the headpiece here. I saw it's playing some spice. I saw it's on some spice. Oh, you're not gonna give me the headpiece. Oh, Searing Gaze doesn't mark me because it's not the second chain link. Never mind. So that was actually just +2 there to keep their turn going. So I probably played that incorrectly. You know I hate to say I told you so. You know I hate to say I told you so. I listened to a lot of Chappell Roan, Backstreet Boys on the way down to Hotlanta. I think we're just going to throw the hammer for 4 here. Just try to cover up life where we can. I think I might give the Sink Below here. I think I might actually give the Sink Below here. I don't know. Yeah, I think we'll bottom that. I think bottoming that's fine here. Because if we draw a good red, we can Arsenal it. If we draw a Test of Strength or a Grip, we'll IP it for next turn. If we draw another blue, we'll throw the hammer. And I just want to cycle to find more gold mana states at this point. Is really all we're after, I think, right now. Oh, the Pleiades deck's insane, Mel. It's very good. Personally listened to a bunch of Sawano over the weekend. I do not know what that is, Annabelle. Yeah, preventing the Mark versus Fang is a big deal. I agree. I agree very strongly. This is our last Clash of Bravado, so we need to make this count. We need to make this count. Oh, pitching that Hunson is great. Okay. Kind of hoping to keep the rest of the hand here, but this is a lot of damage, depending on what they pitch. How did they not pitch anything? Oh, one less. Okay, so Perforate makes them cost one less also. I think we're going to block here and see how bad this gets. I forgot Perforate makes them cost one less. Does a lot of anime stuff? Okay. Yeah, I did not know that. I did not know that. Should have blocked with this last attack. I knew that I knew they were going to attack an additional time. Should have given that and chess piece. It's just a mistake. Which is dumb. They're not in a very good position right now. If they did not have headpiece, I would save this CNC for next turn, but it's just worth throwing now. Okay. They have one fealty token and no vigor tokens for next turn. And I think we've seen all three perforates. They pitched one earlier, I'm pretty sure. So, all right, well, that helps a lot. Okay. Pitching a blue, sure. I don't think Spinal Crush is happening this turn without us taking a truckload of damage. Okay. There's what? One more strength and one more Toig after this? I mean... So we go to 12 and we get remarked. Oh... I'm going to block for 4. And they're just going to let their turn end. Was that the last Saver Bloodshed? I'm pretty sure it was. Okay. So there was a lot of the problem cards we were trying to fight through. I'm going to swing Hammer for 7, Arsenal the Boulder Drop, and we'll try to get value out of the Iron Fist Revelation next turn. Cover 7, sure. The Overcrowded in Arsenal is very good. Do we want to grip just to grip them? Just to get a card out of their hand? Are you going to any concerts this year? I mean, I'm sure we'll end up going to some. I just don't know which ones yet, to be honest with you, Michael. I don't think Carly and I have really sat down and talked about that too much. There was one we talked about going to, might have been Yellow Card. I don't remember who it was. I'd have to ask her. I can't remember off the top of my head. We talked about going to one though. We are going to Estate. We can now safely block with the shield at this point. And then we're going to throw CNC to try and disrupt them here. And then we have our last test of strength. I'm pretty sure this is our last defensive tool. Yeah, we have our last like defensive tool here, other than like riches and flexors later. All right, they gave 2 cards, which is good for us. We just traded 1 card for 2 out of our deck, and they have 1 fealty in play. We just need to be able to throw this boulder drop next turn. Yellow card was touring with somebody, Andrew. I know I saw that for sure somewhere. All right, we need to check a couple of things first. There's 1 more Affirm Loyalty in the deck. They pitched their glint early. They might be back to their glint now. They're out of Searing Gazes. There's 1 more Tooth of the Dragon. They pitched a yellow Scar Tissue last turn. 1 more Pledge Fealty somewhere. So we need to avoid letting them hitting us this turn if we can help it. I want to keep them off of the fealties as long as possible. And there are a couple of cards that are going to generate them that value no matter what we do. So we're going to block 4 here. Yo, what's up, Chris? Michael, what concerts do you have planned this year, buddy? If this is Tooth of the Dragon, we get punished pretty severely for this. Okay, so we played this well. Blocking like this keeps them on 2 fealty instead of 3. And we're going to throw Boulder Drop for 13 and Arsenal Spinal Crush. We're going to use this to take them off tempo, and then if we need to, we'll use golds to keep cycling for stuff later. But this for 13 should be pretty good at taking them off like tempo here a little bit. Did you drive past the Big Chicken in Atlanta? My grandma lived near there and used to use it as a landmark for direction. The Big Chicken? That did not stand out to me, Donnie. I feel like that's something that I would notice. But no, that the Big Chicken did not stand out to me. Main difference I can see for deciding between Fang and Kasai for RTNs is Florian Dio and KO and Sender representation. I mean, that makes sense. All right, so they're willing to just play their 3-card hand. This has to be Tooth of the Dragon turn, right? Like, this has to be Tooth of the Dragon or the Pledge Fealty turn. Also, how are we not back to our riches yet? I think we're going to gamble a little bit. We're going to block like this. It was the Tooth of the Dragon. Okay. So it's going to sound crazy, but so they're at 12. Blocking 9 means they have 13 and we have 11 cards. Do we have to? I mean, we're already marked and they have 2 fealties, right? That's true. I would be much more aware of what's on top of their deck. Because I just saw that we win the clash when we play Talishar. Those are small things you don't take into account for. Sam is correct. I think we're going to do this, and we're going to throw Spinal Crush. So this goes, we take 5, go to 7, and then we're now requiring 2 cards from them to stop the go again. Hey, what's up, Jay? If I had been paying attention to clashes, which admittedly, like, is not Talishar's fault, I should be playing better when I'm playing online. But because I am at home and Talishar does it for me, I did not manually think about that process. Like, my brain did not process that. Block 7, take 2, makes sense. And then you can have a pretty good hand here. Is this our riches hand? How bad have I counted? Okay, so I was 1 off. We take 1. We've not seen the Fire and Brimstone yet, which scares me. And then this is our last Golden Sun, so probably not going to close the game out with it, but we do get very close, so it's worth it, I think. You excited at all for calling Columbus? It'll be my first time at a calling, and I'm not 100% sure if I should just send it or just play side events. Oh, dude. Gabriel, 1, yes, I'm very excited for calling Columbus. And 2, I mean, you should do whatever you're comfortable with, right? You should do whatever you're comfortable with. Like, I am a firm believer. I am a competitive player. I like to play in the big events. If you don't want to, then you shouldn't, is what I think. But I am someone who thoroughly enjoys playing in the big events, so I like to do that kind of stuff. I think we're going to crack some gold here. And let's talk about why. I think I'm going to pitch right behind you to gold. Yeah, see, Michael just said, in my opinion, side events are better than mains, which is like, I get it. Like if that's what you want, then do it. I should hopefully should probably be free enough to head out on this Friday. Jay, I hope you get to play. I won't be there, unfortunately. I'll be on my way to Columbus on Friday. I would like to make a surge and get a Macho Grande into our arsenal to try and close the game out next turn. And they're all in here, so they have to be coming up somewhere. So we are going to pitch this. There are 4 cards in our deck. Riches is right here. We are going to throw this and break a gold. 10 overpower will not close out the game. If I could have drawn another card to put riches into my pitch deck for next turn, I would have. Take 5, go to 1. Is this the Fire and Brimstone? Did they block with Fire and Brimstone? Am I crazy? This is the Hunson turn for sure. Where is Fire and Brimstone at? Did they pitch deck Fire and Brimstone and Hunson together? If they did, I tip my hat to them. Arsenal this. And then going down to 2 fealty. Interesting. Okay. So it's not Hunson? Are they waiting to get more Draconic Chain Links to play the Fire and Brimstone? Some lists don't even run Fire and Brimstone? Hey, Derek, yo, dude, thanks for supporting the Codex journey, man. And I hope it serves you well at your RTNs, buddy. I appreciate that. I mean, Hunson can't be played here. Currently. Pledge Fealty makes a token. Okay, if I have 1 gold, I pitch this to draw a card off Riches of Tropaldani, and then I'll draw Riches, and then I'm not able to... I am not able to win the game. If I... Oh, they are. There it is. Okay, so we're gonna take 1, go to 5. Yellow scar tissue. There's a yellow scar tissue left in their deck. I man, I don't know. Like, I'm not seeing it right now. You're gonna activate Braveforge Bracers, okay? Okay, so this is for 3. Yellow scar tissue is for 2. I'm convinced that Pledge Fealty is the only other card other than Hunson they could have in their hand here. So that I could have another card to block with on this turn. That actually makes sense. So yellow scar tissue is a +3. So if I block 2, I take 4, go to 1. So if we're playing that their less card is Pledge Fealty or Hunson, we can't lose from here. Or if it's just a glob of blues, it doesn't matter. So we're going to say no blocks and pass to reactions. And if we die, I'm dying to my own mistake at this point. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Because they're going to get to attack an extra time here. Wow, so they actually had nothing. We could have just won the game. It was just another blue. What do they have left? They have a Relentless Pursuit. They have a Warmonger's Diplomacy, an Overcrowded, and they have a Hunson. Which means we have to avoid giving them a third fealty. This is so interesting. Yeah, there's one glint. Could have just used the... Oh, you're saying they misplayed with by using the perforate then? Okay, so glint. This is overcrowded. Glint. They put this on the bottom earlier, or are they only on 2? So there's a hunt end, a glint, a pledge fealty. I think we're at a point where, like, I don't know that they can kill us. I should have kept the... Oh, they should have kept the fealty? Yeah. If we lose, it is strictly because I am not playing correctly. I don't think they have anything that kills us from here. I think we have to block 3 and block 3, okay? I mean, we'll leave it on top. I guess it doesn't really matter. And then we have 4 cards. I should have blocked with both of these and kept that in my deck. That was a very bad block. I should have, yeah, that was a really bad block. I should have kept the Cranial Crush in my deck. Fortunately, we're going to win and it doesn't matter, but that was a very bad block by me. It was a very bad block. I think they just passed. They realized the game's over. So their mistake of giving up their fealty tokens. Yeah, there was the Hunts in. Yeah, it was Relentless Pursuit and Overcrowded. So yeah, their mistake of giving up those fealty tokens earlier by discarding the Hunts End and keeping the other card cost them the game there. In a game they probably would have beat us by. Game they probably would have beat us on. Yo, Sam with the 21 months of Prime support. Dude, Sam, thank you so much for the 21 months. I appreciate that. My man said, what's 10 plus 9? 21? Dude, Sam, I appreciate it, brother. It means a lot. All right. Let's try to get one we can play in the next 35 minutes, and then we're gonna go record some breakpoints. Op gave up all 3 fealty tokens early and stranded a Hunt's End. Hang on. We want to go first in this matchup. Oh, is this Taylor? Yeah, we're playing Taylor. Hilarious. And stranded a Hunt's End late in the game that would have won them the game. I should have attacked with Macho and arsenaled Golden Sun to block with more cards next turn. And somehow I have ran out of room. Let's stretch out my Victor here. 112, 26. Kasai, and we are going first. We are on balance. We're on all of the usual suspects here. Let me pull up my... Find Kasai really quick. Where is Kasai? Kasai. There it is. Boulder Drop. We are on taking out all 3 Choke Slams, Clash of Bravado, E-Strikes. We are on 1 Remembrance. We're on Sink Belows. We are on Twigs, and we're on Performance Bonus. That is the plan in this matchup. Let's see if we can make Taylor sweat a little bit. I am a really big fan of just swinging the hammer on turn 0. Just forcing the action a little bit to our opponent. You guys do get to watch a test game. I mean, I'm sure Taylor's hanging out in the Discord with some people. Oh, he's playing the Battle Hardened list, too. He's playing the Draw Swords list, which is fun. Fun. We could use Iron Fist Revelation on this if we wanted to. Just kind of depends on how the game goes. For the assistance on the Verdance matchup in the Discord, was able to get my Nats invite last weekend. Yo, Derwin, let's go. I am happy to help, and congrats on getting your Nats invite. That's awesome. I love that for you, buddy. Super happy to hear that. $21. No! Sag. We'll just cover this up, keep our life up here. Taylor loaded 65, 67, 68 cards into us. We know we have a miss on top of the deck, but I think that's fine. We're going to save the Goldman Estate. We're going to use Revelation this turn to get some value out of Boulder Drop. And then we're going to ship the Boulder Drop, arsenal the Goldman Estate, and set up until we clash into a gold. Draw a second card. Somehow. I don't know how. No, Clash of Bravado, come back. We need you. So 3, 4 plus 4 right now, plus it's free. And we drew a Twig. So if he throws Saber, we get to cover it pretty cleanly and force his arsenal to be good. Who are you not playing Millers into? KO. KO is a big one. Is this actually a clean block? Because this comes in for 3, right? Because of the sharpen senses. Oh, I really wanted this one to be first. Taylor is actually making a very heads-up play, and it makes me sick. Sick, I tell you. Nah, it's actually a good play by Taylor. Attacking with this first is like 110% correct. Yo, clashes are wild right now. Sure. I think there's 13 misses in this matchup. I think is how I have 12, 13, something like that. I think is how I have it boarded. We're gonna block like this, make a surge, throw the boulder drop, arsenal the estate, and pass. If we get got by like an in the swing, or something here, could be very bad for us. Right now in my head, I am playing like this is not the list that is like on like the super aggressive slanted 0 for 4 chain enders right now. I don't even know if Taylor's playing them into me, but I know that there was a list that won this week that did well this weekend that was playing like snatch and strike gold. And so I'm pretending like this isn't it right now, trying to like because I know Taylor is probably like playing that version of the deck because it popped up today. But I'm trying to pretend like I don't know that's it. The snatch would have been a blowout right there. He did draw a snatch, blocking 6, take 2. Sure. Arsenal estate. Let's draw. Let's have a good clash, please. Let's have a good clash, please. Okay, Cranial Crush. He discards Strike Gold. You'll love to see it. I know I have a Cranial Crush on top of our deck. They're going to make a gold, draw the Cranial Crush. We're going to play a state. Let's see what we draw off the top of the deck. Headbutt. So we're going to make a surge, swing, lay, hammer, and we're going to set up a boulder drop in Arsenal for next turn. Yeah, if you guys have not seen this list, you guys should check it out. It's really cool. And I know Taylor's okay playing it into me on the stream because I know he's okay with everybody seeing it. So I know it's safe for like us to talk about right now. Yo, sending this at me is diabolical. Diabolical, sir. Evil. Hey. That's so good, dude. God, that makes me want to vomit how good that is. Should we block 2 cards or should we block here in tech plating? Actually, no. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just get all the value. Let's just get our value out of Revelation. It's clean. It works. Let's do this. Yeah, the Kasai list is hot. Like, it snatches and it's strike gold in the Kasai deck. It's really cool. There are some matchups that it's very good into. I mean, against Gravy, you always are setting up gold, and you're always like drawing cards to have an arsenal. I think it's actually insanely good against Gravy. Taylor giving up the equipment here. Interesting. I mean, Kasai's a very fun hero, and this deck list is very interesting. I'm very intrigued to see how this goes now. To see how this game plays out. I'm going to say no blocks here. I'm going to force Taylor to play the reaction here. I'm going to force him to have it. Okay. This is actually works out really well for us because we get to sink below, bottom the Cranial Crush, and try to draw into something better. We did not draw into something better. Lame. Red hit and run means Saber comes in for 5. We're going to block 6, make a surge, throw CNC here, force Taylor's hand a little bit. I can't remember if this list was running D-Reacts or not, but is this list a gravy killer? Do you feel like this just murders gravy? Rose? Like, genuine question. Also, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. Know there's a lot of things y'all could be doing on a random Monday night. So I appreciate y'all chilling and hanging out with me tonight. It means a lot that y'all are vibing and being here with you, boy. We're back from Atlanta, getting ready for Columbus. So I appreciate y'all hanging out. I think this is a no blocks turn. Wow, did we just like soul read Taylor? Did we just like soul read Taylor? Since this is a red boulder job, I'm gonna push Taylor and see what he does. I'm hoping that Taylor is like testing, like he's testing in the dark, and he's playing against a random schmuck, like who's probably playing Pummel and not just me. Okay, maybe he was okay with Pummel there. I don't know. Maybe he was okay with it, or maybe Taylor's playing like a lot of people aren't playing Pummel right now because that is what a lot of people are doing. Oh, I really want to greed with this hand, but I don't want to give up the value of Outland Skirmish, which is tough. How much to play Tough Nut in Columbus? It beats Prism. Yo, I don't know that everybody's wallet stretches that far. I don't know that our wallets stretch that far. This feels like an equipment turn. Okay. We're stopping copper and we're stopping gold. This feels early, but I think we might just be in a situation where this is worth. Like, I know we are like chewing through our equipment right now, but man, like, I don't know. Like, I think having both of those effects makes it to where like doing that is okay. We're going to pitch this and then we're just going to pass. Now, we have little to no armor to block with the rest of the game, which makes this tough because denying allies and gold is going to be hard the rest of the game. And Taylor probably has at least one more gold activation right now. Spoils of War, sure. Okay. And a Kasai activation. What are we leading on, my good sir? So this one's going to be for 7. So we're going to block like this. We're going to sink below the right behind you. Okay. That is 1 card this turn, not 2. Is 1 gold worth planting the sink below in our arsenal is what we have to ask ourselves. We're going to come in for 11. We go to 36. We give up 1 gold. There are currently no more gold activations. Is sink below worth a gold? It is 1 gold and 2 copper, isn't it? Trent is correct. It is 1 gold and 2 copper, which means this sink below is always This sink below is always worth the value reduction of gold and also the value reduction of... Yeah, that's worth the gold. That's worth gold and copper. The value that that produces for Taylor over the course of the game is too much. Boulder drop for 11, looking good. It's the last copper generator? No shot that's actually true, right? There's one more outlane skirmish. Wow, it really is, though. It is towards the end of the amount of copper that that generates, so that's actually not bad for us. We are arsenaling this shit all day long. They want to lead on this since it has go again. I actually think that's a really good play. I think blocking Bravado first is correct, and then because this is more than likely just like another attack after this, I think this is fine. Performance bonus is actually insanely good here. Okay. Here is the question we have to ask ourselves right now. And this is a very interesting question to ask ourselves. Do we want to play Remembrance right now and shuffle back in 2 copies of Gold Main Estate and like a Command and Conquer and play 5 Gold Main Estates instead of 6? I genuinely think the answer is yes. I think that just playing it, like I think casting 5 of them instead of 6 is okay, especially considering we have the performance bonus. I think it would otherwise be too greedy for me to gamble and wait. Like, that is too much gamble, and we are getting a lot of this value here. Setting up the performance bonus is insane. Wow. What a hand. Are we Kasaiing? There are 2 yellows if you Kasai. No Kasai. We're going to block 5 here. Setting up that Vigor is so obnoxious, though. 1 Vigor and a Bracers? No, Taylor changed his mind. 2 Vigors is so obnoxious. Is it worth taking a turn off to deny the Vigor? I don't think so. I think we have to throw 7. Performance bonus needs to connect. Jake, performance bonus is going at an ally. It's never going at face unless it's for like 10 or more. This card is going to sit in our arsenal until Taylor decides to play until Taylor decides to play a Raisin Army, or he plays one of the reactions that puts one into play. Those are the 2 reasons. That's like the only reason we play this. I agree. I don't think we need 3 estates. I think playing the Remembrance there is perfectly fine. Blood Follows Blade, yes, or Raisin Army. How many clashes have we seen? 3 grips, 3 sinks, and 2 strengths. Okay, so there's 1 clash left in our deck. We've used a lot of our defensive value. Taylor's also done a very impactful job of denying us Balance of Justice. Come on, put like a Sharpened Senses into play so I can blow up your turn or something cool. Is this Blade Flurry? We've only seen the one, right? No, there's one Blade Flurry left. I don't really like this, but it's fine. Blood follows blade on top. Okay. About sitting on performance bonus means you can disrespect his hot streak as long as you have it. I mean, sure. We're giving up value, but man, like, we need to deny that, right? Like, we do not want to give Taylor gold. Strike gold's actually really cool in this deck. You're just focusing on like gold as a way to make your like swords free every turn. I don't think we want to draw 2 cards here. I think we'll just greed a little bit and hope we don't draw a red. Was a little greed, but I think it's fine, honestly, in that situation. Shelter and Arsenal makes sense. We're actually going to go right behind you first and then the Riches, because Riches has like minimal value at this point. I actually think I'm okay with giving Taylor 1 copper, right? Does my hand do anything? We have all of our Golden Suns in our deck. Wonder if Taylor's trying to fatigue me at this point. Kind of feels like that might be his play. Give him a pittance. That's funny. All right, so Taylor's played a Blood Follows Blade. There's a Blood Follows Blade as the first card in Taylor's pitch stack right now, which is fine. Taylor also just knows I'm sitting on the performance bonus, so he's like not in a super big hurry to make allies right now. Taylor just keeps having... All right, is that our third shelter? Third shelter, 1 sink left. All right, so there's 1 sink left. I don't think Taylor's on Fates right now. We have 27 cards versus Taylor's 29. This is no blocks to the moon. We have to be conscious of our deck count as much as our life total right now. I actually disagree with you, Josh, with the amount of gold that he's looking to create and draw in this game. I actually believe that there is a... I actually believe there is a world where... like 2 copper could matter here, as weird as that sounds. I mean, it would be only 1, but like it wouldn't have like this major high impact, but I do think it could be scary. I'm content blocking 6, make a surge, throw Command and Conquer. We're just trying to stay into a good spot until we can get back to our gold main estates. Our gold main estates are going to pressure Taylor's life total, or pressure... like, we're going to pressure his life total enough, or we're going to pressure his deck enough because he's going to be forced into blocking, hopefully. Gorg Tome and Sharpen Senses, and Unsheathed. No one-hit effect. We'll take 1 here. This is fine. I'm content taking 3. Swing the hammer. 22 versus 23. So we're closer to parity now. I agree. The copper almost always matters. I think 2 copper is scary enough. I sent you a playlist to educate you about Hiroyuki Sawano, since you didn't know him, and you should. Okay, roger that. think Taylor's currently decide which card to block with here. Oh. Blocking with Raisin Army. Interesting. And I guess with only one gold in play, Taylor's not like super adamant about what's going on right now. I think this is no blocks. Okay. I actually really like that. That works out pretty well for us. No clash because this is an ally. Is this our last snatch? No, there's 2 more snatches. If this is snatch, we're going to 21. That ironically scares me more. How many Raisin armies are left? I'm assuming the deck plays 2. I don't know how much I like this, but we're going to let it happen. I don't know how much I like this. Okay, performance bonus at the ally. Make a gold, draw a card. I don't think we're in good enough standing to stack this. The question right now is, are we in good enough standing with Taylor having 2 gold to make a surge and throw a Spinal Crush in Arsenal 1? Considering we have played none, it would be 5 hands away and we're at 21. I actually think that is okay. That is not what I wanted to do. Drawing 2 in the same hand is pretty unfortunate. I actually think this is okay. Just wish our deck seemed more exciting to me. I get that. I get that to some extent. So we have, this is going to be in our 5th hand. Actually, I lied. This is going to be, well, we're going to play right now like it's going to be in our 5th hand. We'll see based off of what we block and draw into. How many Golden Suns do we have left? 2. Taylor's probably just pretty happy with me taking 2. Activates Grains. Gold Main Estate makes 8 Might tokens. Macho Grande for 8 because we need to close this game out. We are 3 hands away from our Gold Main Estate. It's going to be the last card in our 3rd hand right now. The one we just pitched. That Gold Main Estate's looking good. We're trying to get aggressive here. Like, we're going to try and block with like 1 or 2 cards each turn. Man, hit and run is so good in this deck. I think we have to go to 14 here. This is probably Snatch. I don't know. This just feels like a Snatch to me. I didn't block because I just had that Snatch feeling. I don't know. Like, call me crazy. It just... Well, that's pretty good. Command and Conquer for 14 is not bad. Taylor can block it if he's all 3 blocks here. So we have one more hand, and then Visit the Goldman Estate's going to be our 3rd card from the back in the hand after that right now. Right? Am I crazy? Is he playing like 1 snatch for Spice into me or something? No, there's 1 snatch over here, so there's 1 more left. Maybe he's just playing 2. I don't know. When you get the tickle, you have to stick with your intuition. I try to, Martin. Honestly, I do. And sometimes I'm wrong, but I try to stick with it when I have it. Yo, Mello, let's go. 19 months, Mello, with 19 months of that Prime support. I appreciate it, brother. It means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support, guys. Taylor blocking with 1 card. Keeping his hand just to apply pressure. Just kidding. Dynamo's also a good block. Take that, go to 13. What did we get with that? A red hit and run. Actually juice to get that. They draw a card. I'll draw another card. Balance. Do we have a Clash of Bravado left in our deck? I thought I pitched one earlier. I guess I was wrong. Really wish we had some equipment left. We're going to block 9. There is 1 Blade Flurry left, but I don't think it's in this hand. We'll bottom this, and then Estate's on top of our deck now. Or if not top, it's the 2nd card. I mean, I'm crazy, but that's beyond the point. Fair enough. Did I give you the tickle this weekend? Yo, in front of everybody, Trent. Just letting it fly, huh, dog? Just letting it fly. Trent's no longer afraid to show who he is, and I respect him for it. Taylor making out with that undo button. He's hit it like twice all game, hasn't he? Martin said 14 power CNC, so mid. Draw blue. Play Estate. $19 overpower. Might not be enough to finish the game off, but this one sure as shit will be. There's a lot of actions in Taylor's deck. There's a lot of actions in Taylor's deck. Oh, we gotta love Pot of Greed. I did almost kiss you on the cheek on Sunday. Yeah, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I thought those people were getting all up in my space. Dude, that was so funny. I thought those people were getting all up in my space. Taylor block with the Blade Flurry? No. Looking to make it gold. Is this the last Raisin Army right here? I mean, we need to be able to keep 1 card here. We can keep 1 card, we're good. There's the Blade Flurry. Take 2 down to 9. Taylor makes a gold. What is that? Oh, he actually doesn't have any gold because, well, he's going to have 1, right? So his Raisin Army's not looking that impressive because he was drawing cards to try to make his hands functional, I think. So this should be game. I mean, if Golden Sun for 19 doesn't close the game out, then I don't know what will. We do have quite the pile of greed or quite the pile of gold going on right now. If I was better at this game, I'd know every card in his deck right now. Heather wants to undo. Oh, he wants to bracers? Sure. I still think we're going to block 6. We're going to leave a blue on top. And then Blade Runner into Snatch. Sure. Yeah, we're going to go to 5. We're going to crack into our blue on top, and we're going to overpower this and come in for 19. And we close the game out. GG's, brother. That was a grind. Deck's really interesting. We had a lot of very, very good defensive tools early that allowed us to get into a good position to close the game out late, which I think was very, very impactful for us. So let's see. We did get a win. A lot of our good defensive tools came early, and that allowed us to deny copper and gold for most of the game. 2 Test of Iron Grip did whiff early, which was annoying, not really the end of the world. This version of Kasai was a lot more upfront with their pumps and attacks. Okay. Well, we ended up winning a couple of games. Feels pretty good to get a couple of wins. These are some of the changes that we're making to the Victor deck and how it feels. So yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys chilling. Stream tomorrow night. We'll be playing Victor, working on our deck for Columbus. But yeah, we'll be playing the deck tomorrow. I'm probably gonna look for dedicated Verdance reps tomorrow. Try to get some reps going in that matchup to see how it feels without Tunic, and to see if we can still successfully make it happen consistently, and we'll kind of go from there. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys. Full access to roast